Chapter 1157. Why are you so sure? Won't he make the Roha continent a peaceful continent? Feng Lian gritted her teeth and said angrily, "Slap." Suddenly, Feng Lian got up and slapped her. Feng Lian fell on the sofa and covered her face as she looked at her. She didn't think that her sister, Feng Lian, who respected her the most, would slap her. Not to mention Feng Lian. Even Wang Kai was surprised. He touched his nose and didn't say anything. Archmage Lily pressed down on the little lowly lying on her lap and was also stunned by what she saw. The little lowly even forgot about the pain in her, but she was still pouting. "Elder Sister Yin, why are you still speaking up for that damned Lassen? My husband is saving you. Do you understand?" Feng Lian said coldly. "Saving me? Do I need him to save me? All of this is his doing. He is a despicable and shameless guy." Feng Lian shouted angrily. "Aren't you the one who was betrayed by the commoners? Isn't it La Sant who gave you to my husband as a gift? Even if my husband did it on purpose, he still needed Lassen's permission to do so. In order to rule the continent, he didn't want my husband to interfere with him. He could have used you as a gift at any time." Feng Lian said contemptuously. "No, he was forced by Wang Kai. Yes, it must be so. Wang Kai is too strong. He knows that he can't defeat Wang Kai. So he shut up. My husband made a bet with him. He didn't kill him. He didn't use his strength to threaten him. La Sant did it voluntarily." Feng Lian said coldly. "Well, you don't need to quarrel." Wang Kai waved his hand and looked at Feng Lian and said indifferently, "The reason why I did this is because Feng Lian begged me to save you. Otherwise, La Sant would have made you fall into despair sooner or later. Now, we just need to see how he does it." Wouch! As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Kai waved his hand and cut open the void. A mirror appeared, and the scene reflected in the mirror was La Sant, who was leading many civilian swordsmen. Moreover, most of the commoner swordsmen who followed Center were knights who were about to become sword saints. "Sir La Sant, have all the nobles really disappeared? Yeah, have we been deceived? I don't believe that there is someone in the world who can kill all the nobles in an instant." Many commoner swordsmen asked suspiciously. "Don't worry, that person won't lie. He has the ability to do so. Now we just need to go to Roha's city and take a look. If the nobles are all dead, we can gather all the commoners and form a new army." La Sant said. All right. Everyone followed behind La Sant with a doubtful attitude. He establishing a new kingdom team. Wang Kai was lying on the sofa with a look of disdain. "If you lose, what will happen to you?" "Humph. When you made a bet with La Sant, you didn't say what will happen if you lose. If this isn't strength, then what is?" Feng Lian said with disdain. "If I lose, will I lose?" Wang Kai frowned when he heard this. He shrugged casually and said with a faint smile, "If I really lose, the ending is very simple. This continent will cease to exist. No matter if it is a commoner or a noble, all of them will die." "You really are a despicable person," Feng Lian said angrily. "What despicable person? Don't forget, you're from the divine cultivation world. You came to the magic world to save the divine cultivation world, yet you still want to use poison to kill me? Not to mention that I won't die. If I really die, what will happen to the divine cultivation world? Have you not considered it? Your ancestral land, your clansmen, you don't know what will happen to them. Don't you have any idea?" Wang Kai looked at her with disdain. I didn't want to poison you. I just want to make you retreat." Feng Lian gritted her teeth and said, "What are you quibbling about? If the poison concocted from the blood of that devil is really a threat to me, are you sure you have the antidote? Or will La Sant let me go?" Wang Kai frowned and said with disdain, "He will. If he doesn't, I will forcibly let you go. He is not my opponent. Moreover, if I don't have the antidote, I won't use it on you." Feng Lian quibbled. "I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you. After the matter of the magic world is over, I will throw you back to the cultivation world and let you be alone for the rest of your life." Wang Kai said coldly. "You." Feng Lian was dumbfounded. If Wang Kai really did that, she wouldn't have the ability to resist. She would definitely be eaten by Wang Kai for the rest of her life. "Master, you are too unkind. This old pig hasn't even met a woman, and the nobles are already gone. Kacha. As the space was torn apart, Zhu Beiji carried the rake and muttered unhappily. You came back at the right time. Change into a commoner and volunteer to be Lassen's assistant. Show him your strength and help him unify the continent as soon as possible. Wang Kai shrugged and said indifferently, Yeah, after becoming a noble, you want this old pig to become a commoner? Zhu Beiji was filled with resentment, but he still did as he was told and changed into a commoner. After unifying the continent, you will abandon Lassen and help his subordinates to fan the flames. You could just make them rebel. Wang Kai shrugged and said, You are despicable and shameless. Feng Lian couldn't bear to listen anymore. Wang Kai's method was completely sending Lassen to hell. I don't have that much time to wait here for them to take the initiative to betray me. Therefore, I need to speed up a bit so that they will betray me sooner or later. Wang Kai shrugged and said, This old pig is going. Zhu Beiji naturally ignored Feng Lian and tore apart the void and disappeared. What's the point of doing this? Why do you have to do this? Feng Lian rebuked angrily. It's very meaningful. Those who act cool in front of me, no matter if they are good or evil, don't even think about it. Wang Kai curled his lips and snorted disdainfully. Then why don't you just kill Lassen directly? Feng Lian said coldly. Woman, you're really stupid. You've already been given to me, yet you're still here talking nonsense. Wang Kai said disdainfully. I have never been with him, and I don't belong to anyone. Feng Lian said in a deep voice. It seems that Zhu Beiji doesn't need to do anything. You can see for yourself. Wang Kai pointed at the mirror with a playful expression. Swoosh! Feng Lian and the others heard this and immediately turned their heads to look. This. Chapter 1158. What are you trying to do? Lassen held the sacred sword in his hand as he looked at the dozen swordsmen blocking his way. His expression instantly turned ugly. He could clearly see that the swordsmen were all sacred swordsmen. Their strength was similar to his, and they were all sacred swordsmen who were about to become sacred swordsmen. Lassen, you have done well to eliminate the nobles. Follow me in the future, and I will make you a duke. How about that? The middle-aged man in the lead grinned as he placed the sacred sword on his shoulder. He looked at Lassen mockingly. Boss, if we give him a duke, what will we be? That won't do. That's right. Let him die. The other sacred swordsmen laughed as they looked at Lassen with disdain, as if they were looking at an idiot. This situation made Lassen very angry. How could he hand over the throne that he had just obtained to others? Who are you? I should be the only sacred swordsman on this continent. Lassen said coldly. Stupid Lassen. When we became sacred swordsmen, you were just an apprentice swordsman. Ha ha. You don't know anything, and you want to unify the continent? It's okay to tell you. There are more than a dozen sacred swordsmen on the continent. We're just hidden in King City. There are more than 1,000 sacred swordsmen on the continent. They don't know that all the nobles in King City have disappeared, but they will find out sooner or later. So, before they try to unify the continent, we have to take control of King City as soon as possible. Lassen's eyes were terrifyingly gloomy. If what they said was true, he was undoubtedly too naive. He actually thought that he was the only sacred swordsman on the continent. But now, they said that there were more than 1,000 sacred swordsmen. King City had the most powerful nobles on the continent. Once the news that all the nobles in King City had disappeared spread, how could the sacred swordsmen just stand by and do nothing? My name is Kachi. If you intend to follow Lassen, we will have to kill you. The middle-aged man in the lead grinned. No, we will follow the strongest, not the weak. That's right. We will follow whoever becomes the king. We won't participate in a meaningless war, and we won't sacrifice our lives for a stupid person. Soon, the swordsmen who had followed Lassen to Royal City chose to betray him. They all left him and ran behind Kaki and the others. I'm sorry, Levant. You may be a sword saint, but you alone can't do anything. That's right. Earlier, you said that you wanted to use that woman, Feng Lian, to achieve your goal. But now, she has already left. The most foolish of all, she has already left you. If we were to continue following you, we would truly be worse than fools. Shut up. La Scent frowned and coldly rebuked. He brandished his holy sword and coldly said, "Let's work together to rule the continent and let the commoners live a good life. Isn't that better? Why must we kill each other? Bullshit. Go and help the commoners live a good life. Now that the nobles have been eliminated, why should you be king? That's right. Who do you think you are? You're just a lackey for the nobles and a teacher in the Royal Knight Academy. You still want to be king?" Kaki waved his hand and stopped them from reprimanding him. He looked at La Scent indifferently and said disdainfully, "What you're doing is just starting a war on a peaceful continent. Yes, even if we are sword saints, even if we become sword gods, it will still take a few years or even decades to stabilize the rules of the continent. And during this time, there will be fighting and killing in various places on the continent every day. At least it's better than being oppressed by the nobles right now, right? Then we will have hope." La Scent said matter-of-factly, "There's no hope. Just like how we kill you now and rule Royal City. Hee. When those sword saints find out that the nobles with the highest combat power in Royal City have all disappeared, they will also attack us. That's right. Before that happens, we must take everything that we can and hide it so that we can become sword gods. So, La Scent, you can go and die now. When I unify the continent and become king, I will give you the highest honor." As soon as he finished speaking, Kaki waved his holy sword and surrounded La Scent with the other sword saints. "If that's the case, then all of you can go and die. Devil Zane, buzz. Suddenly, La Scent's eyes became incomparably black. 2 black wings grew from his back, and a white horn appeared on top of his head. A long and agile tail appeared behind him, and his hands turned into ghastly white claws. It was extremely terrifying. "You're a devil. Heavens, you're a devil." Kaki and the others were shocked and immediately stopped their attacks. They scattered and fled without any hesitation. They were very clear that a devil sword saint level was many times stronger than a human sword saint. The two could not be compared at all. This kid is actually a devil? At the same time, Wang Kai, who was in the dean's office, was somewhat surprised. He had never thought that La Scent would be a devil. No wonder he didn't take the opportunity to become a sword god. It turned out that he had the ability to transform into a devil. If this was the case, then what was La Scent doing when Feng Liyin captured all the nobles and the church? Thinking of this, Wang Kai frowned. He was secretly puzzled. This is impossible. This is impossible. Compared to Wang Kai's surprise, Feng Liyin was furious. Although she came to the Roha continent not long ago, Feng Liyin was very clear about what a devil represented in the continent. She was even more clear that the Azura who attacked the Kunlun realm was actually a devil. No matter how she tried to piece it together, she couldn't piece together the image of the righteous La Scent and a devil. What's impossible about that? Look at him. TSK. His method of killing is also very vicious. He actually dug out the hearts of those civilian sword saints. Damn, he even ate them? After praising, Wang Kai frowned. His forehead was full of black lines. It could be said that he was disgusted. Devils should be in the abyss under the palace. It is impossible for devils to exist on the continent. He must have gone to the abyss. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to become a devil. Little Loli suddenly said, "The dean is right. If a human wants to transform into a devil, they must sign a contract with a devil. He must have gone to the abyss." Lily said. Hearing this, Wang Kai frowned. He couldn't help but look at Feng Liyin and asked, "You should be very clear about this, right? When you went to the palace to look for the king to attack the Royal Magic Academy, did he go?" Chapter 1159. Hearing this, Feng Liyin didn't say a word. Her red lips were tightly pursed, and her pretty face became extremely cold. Her pair of beautiful eyes stared at the demon in the mirror. "Stupid. You are a goddess. You can't even compare to my family Xianku." Wang Kai curled his lips as he looked at Feng Li with disdain. Feng Liyin was a dignified goddess, the descendant of goddess Niwa. She was in the Tao, celestial realm, just below the heaven-opening realm. But in the end, She was played by an ant who had the strength of a martial emperor. The martial emperor realm was the seventh stage of the martial disciple realm. It was pitifully weak. It was only one grade stronger than the martial king of the fan state. In the immortal martial domain, it was the weakest existence. Elder Sister Yin. Xianke looked at Feng Liyan, whose delicate body was slightly trembling and whose eyes were red, and immediately felt pity for her. Although Feng Liyan didn't say anything to Wang Kai's reprimand, her actions betrayed her feelings. Obviously, Feng Liyan was aware of her own stupidity. First, she was betrayed by the commoners. Then she was given to Wang Kai as a gift. Now, Feng Liyan thought that La Sent wanted to take this opportunity to conquer the immortal martial domain. But in the end, he turned out to be a demon. With all these things added together, Feng Liyan was completely enraged. Looking at his appearance, his goal seems to be the abyss. Wang Kai touched his nose as he smiled playfully. The commoner sword saints had all died at La Sent's hands, all of them having their hearts ripped out. Now, La Sent flapped his wings and entered the Roja Palace. Not good. He wants to release the demon from the abyss. Little Loli exclaimed. Release the demon? Hearing this, Wang Kai was startled and said in puzzlement. Since he can transform into a demon, it proves that he has a connection with the demons of the abyss. This also means that he has been to the abyss. If he wants to release the demons, why wait until now? No, my teacher Athena said that when the nobles leave the royal city and open the abyss, the demon will have a chance to come out. When your friend brought La Sent to the royal city, there were still many nobles in the royal city. Therefore, he can enter the abyss to meet the demon, but the demon won't be able to come out. Little Loli glanced at Feng Liyan and said, What do you mean? If that's the case, did the nobles play a trick on me? Didn't they said that once the abyss and let me go in, they would close the abyss? This way, we can prevent the demons from escaping. This is what your master Athena said, right? Wang Kai stroked his chin and looked at her playfully. This. I don't. Little Loli's face was pale. You don't know? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and glanced at her mockingly. He said lightly, It seems that I have to have a good talk with your teacher. Only when everyone leaves the royal city and opens the abyss, the demon will come out. On the other hand, as long as there is a noble in the royal city, even if the abyss is opened, the demon won't be able to come out. In this case, Athena said that the king had agreed to let him enter the abyss to fight the demon, but the price was that the abyss must be closed. Now it seemed that this was not the case. This was just an excuse for the king and Athena to trap him in the abyss. Wang Kai, Master and the king have discussed this. Your power is too strong. If you continue to live on the continent, you will bring disaster to the continent sooner or later. Therefore, they contacted the gods in the realm of gods and decided to seal you in the abyss. Of course, if you can destroy the demon, the king and my master will open the abyss and let you out, Little Loli quickly explained. If that's the case, the magic gods in the realm of gods are also involved? Good. I will pay them a visit sooner or later. Wang Kai curled his lips and snorted disdainfully. He had not even planned to do anything to the magic world, but they were already on guard. It had to be said that when one was too strong, it was easy to attract the jealousy of others. It could be said that it was impossible to guard against. Look, isn't he opening the door to the abyss? Archmage Lily cried out in surprise. Wang Kai, I know that you must be watching me from somewhere. But now that I am here, you won't have the chance to stop me even if you want to. I will kill you in a while. There's also that stupid Feng Liyan. If it wasn't for her incompetence and not driving all the nobles out of the royal city, or even killing them, I wouldn't have to be afraid of you even if you came. All the contempt and humiliation I suffered in front of you before, I will make you pay for it all in a while. In front of the pitch-black door, La Sent's eyes were pitch black as he looked around with a cold smile. His white claws grabbed the handle of the door and suddenly pulled. La Sent, I will definitely kill you. Feng Liyan frowned when she heard that. Her beautiful face was cold, as if it had been sealed in ice. Why do you want to kill him? Aren't you interested in him? Do you still want to help him achieve great things? What? Now that he doesn't need you, you want to kill him? It's not good to go back on your word like this, right? Wang Kai frowned and said with a playful smile. Facing Wang Kai's intentional ridicule, Feng Liyin still did not respond. With a tap of her foot, she directly tore through the void and left. Ignoring me again? Wang Kai frowned as black lines appeared on his forehead. Husband, elder sister Yin is not ignoring you. She just doesn't have any face and doesn't know how to face you. Xian Ku pursed her red lips and said worriedly, if you knew this would happen, you wouldn't have done it in the first place. Wang Kai curled his lips when he heard that. He was secretly speechless. Ever since he heard Lassent's goal and plan from her, he was 100% certain that Lassent was an idiot, making commoners become nobles, making nobles become commoners, and humiliating them in turn. Was this what a wise rebel should do? Unfortunately, no matter how he persuaded Feng Liyin, she was no different from an idiot who had fallen into a pit. Only now did she wake up and want to kill Lassent. Was that even possible? Was there any use? The door to the abyss had already opened, and all the nobles had been taken into the space. Once the demon ruler came out, not to mention Feng Liyin, even if it was him, the outcome would still be uncertain. I think the demon won't be able to come out, Archmage Lily suddenly said in a small voice. When these words were spoken, the gazes of Wang Kai and the rest all turned towards her. Soon after, they were all abruptly stunned. That's right. Aren't you a noble? And so is the little lowly. Wang Kai slapped his head, speechless. Chapter 1160. Lassent. Inside the palace, Yin Fengli tore through the void and roared angrily. She directly teleported to the abyss gate where Lassent was. Yin Fengli? Haha, you came at the right time. Let's witness together. Bang! While before Lassent could finish his words, Yin Fengli stepped forward and slapped him, causing him to spit out blood and fly into the abyss gate. What are you doing? Lassent angrily reprimanded. He never thought that Yin Fengli would attack him. Am I stupid? Yin Fengli coldly stared at him and said in a cold voice. Lassent instantly reacted. Not only did Wang Kai hear what he said, but Yin Fengli also heard it. You are indeed very foolish. Ha ha ha, it doesn't matter. If you choose to submit to me now, I won't kill you. Otherwise, when the demon ruler appears, you will become his first sacrifice, Chesent said with a sinister smile. Damn it, slap. Yin Fengli's killing intent was revealed. She waved her slender, jade-like hand and slapped Lassent again. Lassent's flesh exploded. You're dead. You're dead. Cough, cough. And that even more stupid Wang Kai. You're all going to die. Ha ha. Lassent laughed loudly. Slap. However, Lassent didn't wait for the devil overlord to appear. Instead, he was continuously tortured by Yin Fengli. In the end, he lay on the ground, unable to move. Devil overlord, why haven't you appeared yet? Lassent's face was pale as he lay on the ground trembling. He looked at the abyss gate quietly, his eyes filled with fear. He can't come out. The nobles haven't completely disappeared. My woman is still here. Wang Kai shrugged and stepped out of the void. The nobles haven't completely disappeared. Lassent was startled when he heard this. When he saw Archmage Lily and Principal Lorraine appear, his eyes widened. Damn it, you didn't keep your promise. Lassent roared crazily. What agreement? I'm only making a bet with you, and the rules are all set by me. Not to mention, do you know that an idiot ant like you doesn't have the qualifications to make a bet with me at all? The reason I'm making this bet with you is all because of this stupid woman. If it weren't for the fact that I don't want to see her continue to be stupid, I would have slapped you to death. Wang Kai sneered with disdain with his hands behind his back. A mere sword saint was so weak that it would not be an exaggeration to call him an ant. How could such a weak person have the qualifications to make a bet with Wang Kai, who was at the heaven opening stage? Once he became an enemy, he could kill him with a wave of his hand. He would not even have the chance to speak or the right to do so. Feng Liyin, save me, save me. What I said just now was forced by that damn Wang Kai. Yes, he controlled me, you scram. Bang, clang, wah. Feng Liyin kicked him before he could finish his words. His body was sent flying crashing into the abyss gate with loud bangs. When he landed, his aura was so weak that it was almost inaudible, as if he would die at any moment. Boy, you're quite clever, but it's a pity that your brain isn't enough. Even if what you said was controlled by me, what can this stupid woman do to me if she knows about it? In the end, you still don't know who's the king and who's the little king. Wang Kai curled his lips and sneered with disdain. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Bang, 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 bang. Hearing Wang Kai's ridicule, Feng Lian did not have the face to retort, nor did she dare to look him in the eye. She could only vent all her anger on La Scent. Under a series of fierce attacks, La Scent's physical body was completely destroyed, turning into minced meat on the ground. He could not be more dead. It was only at the moment of his death that La Scent realized how stupid he had been. When he went against the strong, he would be the one to suffer in the end. Just like a bet, the rules were set by the strong. Look at you, aren't you stupid? Wang Kai shrugged and looked at Feng Lian mockingly. With his hands behind his back, he said, I'll teach you a lesson, and rumble. Suddenly, before Wang Kai could finish his words, a loud noise came from the abyss. Soon, a black tentacle stretched out, grabbed La Scent's flesh and blood, and retracted back into the abyss. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes when he saw this. He didn't expect that the evil demons could reach out to the outside of the abyss. Don't be surprised. The tentacle just now should be the devil that made a contract with La Scent. Once the contractor dies, the devil will eat his body. Little Loli said faintly, That's right. The devil will not give power to the human for free. When the human uses the devil's power, the devil will constantly absorb the human's life force. Even if the human dies, the body will become a sacrifice for the devil. This is the rule of the contract. Even if the devil is sealed by the abyss, they can still take away La Scent's flesh and blood through the contract. Archmage Lily pushed up her black-rimmed glasses and explained in detail. Then can't he completely walk out of the abyss through the contract? Wang Kai rubbed his nose and asked in surprise. In theory, it's impossible. If the devil wants to come out of the abyss, they can only wait for the contractor to die. Moreover, they can only take away the contractor's body. They can't do anything else, but Archmage Lily frowned as she said this. Her eyes were filled with worry. But what? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and asked. Little Loli also looked at her in confusion. She suddenly realized that as the dean, she didn't know as much as Archmage Lily. I've seen in a taboo magic book before. The undead can also take away the body of a dead contractor through the contract. Moreover, they can use the contractor's body to leave the undead world and come to the modern world. If the devil uses this same method, Archmage Lily's delicate body trembled as she said this. Her eyes became even more frantic. Quickly close the abyss door, Little Loli quickly exclaimed. She ran to the other side of the abyss door and personally pushed it. On the other side, Archmage Lily and Xian Ku also quickly helped. Why bother with him? Just let the devil come out. As long as it's not a devil ruler, it can be easily destroyed. Wang Kai shrugged and said casually, What if it's a devil ruler? Then what should we do? Do you have the confidence to defeat him? If not, the continent will be destroyed. Quickly help. Little Loli said anxiously. Chapter 1161. Even if the evil demon ruler comes, I can easily destroy him. He's just a wretched scum hiding in the shadows. What's there to be afraid of? Wang Kai shrugged and snorted with disdain. As he spoke, he waved his hand to close the abyss gate. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience and 100 bragging points. Black lines appeared on their foreheads. He had clearly bragged so much, but in the end, didn't he still help close the abyss gate? However, as long as they could close the abyss gate, the girls didn't want to argue with Wang Kai. They didn't want to anger him and open the abyss gate again. When are you going to go down? After destroying Azura's lifeline, let's return to the cultivation god world. I want to cultivate in seclusion. Feng Lian said in a deep voice. At this moment, she didn't dare to look at Wang Kai. Even when she spoke, she looked away. I need to prepare. You guys leave first. Wang Kai shrugged and said indifferently. Although he had reached the double cultivation god realm and could reach the triple cultivation god realm through the power of God, in the end, he wasn't a true triple cultivation god. So, if he wanted to defeat the evil demon ruler and cut off Azura's lifeline, he needed to prepare. The magic treasures in the system and the weapons he could use all needed to be upgraded. No, I want to go down with you. Feng Liyin pursed her red lips and said. On the side, Xian Ku also nodded. She blinked her beautiful eyes and looked at Wang Kai with a smile. That's right. The three of us came together. Of course, we have to face everything together. I'll go too, Archmage Lily said. Naturally, she wouldn't let Xian Ku steal the limelight. Are you an idiot? They're too strong. Why are you joining them? If you die and they're still alive, then Wang Kai won't be your man anymore. The little loli pinched her twin ponytails and pouted as she spoke. Hearing this, Archmage Lily exclaimed. She suddenly felt that Principal Lauren's words were very reasonable. But even so, she couldn't watch Wang Kai and the others go down and take risks. I must go down with you. Regardless of life or death, I will accompany you, Archmage Lily said firmly. Me too. Xian Ku gritted her teeth. I did it to save the Kunlun realm. Feng Liyin frowned and turned around. Envy and regret flashed in her eyes. If he had known that Castor was a despicable person, he would not have angered Wang Kai because of him. However, it was too late for regrets now. Every time Wang Kai's comforting words echoed in her mind, Feng Liyin felt 100 times more tortured. She really wanted to leave the magic world as soon as possible and never see Wang Kai again. She was too ashamed to raise her head in front of him. You don't have to fight anymore. No one can go down, Wang Kai said indifferently with his hands behind his back. In the dark abyss, the devil ruler isn't the only one. He has many subordinates that aren't weak at all. If they follow you down, they can help lessen your burden. Of course, I'm referring to Xian Ku and Feng Liyin. With Archmage Lily's strength, she will only be a burden if she goes down. The little Loli's face was serious as she analyzed and reminded him. Archmage Lily pursed her lips in response. She was secretly annoyed, but she knew that Principal Lauren's words weren't wrong. Now was not the time to be entangled in true love and face danger together. If they followed him down, they would not be facing danger together. They would be causing trouble for Wang Kai. There's no need for that. I can destroy all the demons weaker than the devil ruler with a wave of my hand. There's no need for you to help me. Just be honest and return to the Lorraine Magic Academy and wait. Wang Kai frowned and said in a deep voice. The devil ruler's strength was similar to Azura's. He must be a triple divine realm cultivator. Even he had to take him seriously. Since that was the case, how could he let Xian Ku and the others follow him down? If something went wrong, Wang Kai would definitely regret it for the rest of his life. What about you? I've already said that no one is allowed to follow me. Especially you, Feng Liyin. Do you still have a right to speak and make decisions? You should count yourself lucky if I don't teach you a lesson. When I come out, I will make you fulfill your promise. Wang Kai shrugged and said casually, fulfill the promise. Whoosh. Hearing this, Feng Liyin's face turned red. She naturally understood that Wang Kai's promise was for her to have sex with him. She did not know why, but she was very resistant before. Now, she suddenly felt a sense of joy in her heart. Of course, he felt more relaxed and relieved than anything else. Husband, thank you, Xian Ke secretly transmitted. She understood that Wang Kai said this to help Feng Liyin walk out of her shadow and make her feel better. She was very proud that Wang Kai was not a petty person. He was a real man. You can't thank me. Be obedient and wait for me to come back. Just give me some ice and fire. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and secretly transmitted with a smile. Ice and fire. Hearing this, Xian Ke's cheeks turned red. She naturally understood what this meant. Previously, she was asked by Wang Kai to do it with her mouth. All of you can leave now. It's time to release the nobles. Wang Kai raised his hand and drew a line in the air. All the sealed nobles returned to their respective places. At the same time, Feng Liyin and the other girls were sent into the space by Wang Kai and directly transferred to the dean's office of the Lorraine Magic Law School. Give me a weapon that is suitable for 3 cultivators. I also need a weapon that can kill 3 cultivators. Wang Kai frowned and secretly communicated with the system. This battle with the Devil Overlord was bound to be very dangerous. Whether or not he could win was another matter. It could be said that since he started cultivating, there were not many opponents that could make Wang Kai pay so much attention to them. Host, a weapon of 3 cultivators requires 1,000 bragging points. Host, a weapon that can cause damage to 3 cultivators also requires 1,000 bragging points. It can only be used once. After hearing the system notifications, Wang Kai squinted his eyes. Each weapon requires 1,000 bragging points. Host, Wang Kai profession, magician grade, magic, god magic skills, death summoning, air compression, holy healing, life's sign magic equipment. God's fury bragging points, 900 experience, 800010000. Inch, I only have 900 points. Wang Kai frowned as black lines appeared on his forehead. He was speechless. Can't you give me a discount? Host, the 1,000 bragging points cost is calculated by the system according to your cultivation level. If it is calculated according to the magic god level, it would cost at least 1 million bragging points. 1 million bragging points? The difference was so huge. I'm so cocky that people give me the nickname Hunter Gene. Wang Kai curled his lips and smiled proudly. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Chapter 1162. Hearing the prompt, Wang Kai's mouth twitched slightly. He shrugged and said, Triple Cultivator Divine Weapon. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Divine Weapon, Twin Dragon Staff. 1,000 bragging points have been spent. Host, Wang Kai class, God Realm, Double God Divine Technique, None Divine Technique, None Divine Weapon, Twin Dragon Staff, the Power of God, Full God Divine Eyes, Torch Dragon Eyes bragging points, 0 experience, 0 host, Wang Kai class, Magician grade, God Magic Technique, Death Summoning, Air Compression, Holy Healing, Life Sign Magic Equipment, God's Fury bragging points, 0 experience. 900010000. Looking at the 2 information pages that popped up in front of him, Wang Kai shrugged and called out, Twin, Dragon Rods, Buzz, Patter, a golden staff that was as long as an eyebrow, as thick as a finger, and as heavy as 10,000 kilograms, with a golden dragon coiled on each end, fell into Wang Kai's hand. It looked no different from an ordinary club. It was just that its design was a little more exquisite, and it didn't seem to be very powerful at all. Divine Technique and Divine Technique. How many bragging points do I need to learn them? Wang Kai asked. Host, your highest combat power is now Triple God. Therefore, you can only learn Triple God's Divine Technique and Divine Technique. Each requires 1,000 bragging points. Upon hearing the notification, Wang Kai was speechless. If that was the case, he would have to brag 20 times more. I'm the best. I'm the fiercest. The 7 universes are all my turrets. Congratulations to the host for leveling up and reaching the intermediate God realm. Host, Wang Kai class, Magician grade, Intermediate God Magic Technique, Death Summoning, Air Compression, Holy Healing, Life Sign Magic Equipment, God's Fury bragging points, 2,000 experience. 900010000. As Wang Kai continued to brag, by the time he reached the age of 20, he had already surpassed the level of lesser deity from the level of magic god, directly reaching the level of intermediate deity. However, Wang Kai did not care about this at all. Even if he broke through dozens of levels, he would not be able to compare to the heaven opening realm. Learn the strongest triple cultivation divine technique and Triple Cultivation Divine Technique. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the strongest Triple Cultivation Divine Technique, God of Thunder, for a total of 2,000 bragging points. What? Just a divine technique cost me 2,000 bragging points? Wang Kai was stunned. and his expression became extremely displeased. Host, this divine technique is the strongest divine technique. It can prevent the three cultivators of the divine realm from harming you. Even if your body and head are destroyed, you will recover instantly. Furthermore, it will give you the ability to release lightning. Each strike is comparable to the strongest strike of the three cultivators of the divine realm. Hearing the notification, Wang Kai's eyes narrowed slightly. What was the use of this so-called god of lightning technique? Bang! Pitter-patter. Thinking of this, Wang Kai swung the twin dragon staff and smashed it directly on his chest. With this smash, the twin dragon staff pierced through his body. Moreover, his body was clearly smashed into two halves, but he did not feel anything. What was flowing in his body was not blood and flesh, but dense and beautiful lightning. Damn, isn't this the devil fruit ability of Enel the Thunder God in One Piece? Wang Kai's eyes widened, a little stunned. Logia fruits were indeed immortal. Wang Kai believed that in this world, no one knew whether rubber existed or not, but at least it definitely did not have the so-called domineering aura. In this way, wouldn't he be invincible? Lightning was an ability that could not be countered. Even if it came into contact with rubber, it could be split into ashes with super powerful lightning. If I have the chance to use the system, I wonder if I can go to One Piece's world to play? Hee, there are quite a few beauties there. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes, the corners of his mouth slightly hooked up. Host, as long as you want, any world that exists or doesn't exist, you can come and go as you wish. Of course, the bragging points required are extremely huge. Hearing the notification, Wang Kai shrugged his shoulders casually. For the time being, it was not the time to think about this. Since he had God of Thunder's divine technique, even if he did not have divine skills, it was fine. What was he doing there? Bragging to himself all the time? At the same time, in Roland Magic Academy, little Lowly and the others were looking at the mirror that Feng Li Yin took out with some astonishment. In the mirror, Wang Kai continuously bragged dozens of times, which really made them a little confused. He should be cheering himself up. After all, the devil ruler is very powerful. He is only in the realm of God of double cultivation. Fighting against God of triple cultivation is very dangerous. Feng Li Yin pursed her red lips and said with some uncertainty, Yes, that's right. My husband is cheering himself up. Xian Cook quickly echoed. The face of the colleague who spoke was a little red. Lily on the side was also the same. Facing little Lowly's suspicious eyes, it could be said that it was very torturous. Is he really going to challenge the devil ruler? Suddenly, the space was torn apart, and Athena's figure slowly walked out. She was no longer the old woman, but a peerless beauty with blonde hair, blue eyes, and long legs wearing armor. She was only 16 or 17 years old. However, her figure was extremely impressive. Who are you? Feng Lian's eyes turned, and her expression was a little cold. She's my teacher Athena, not an enemy. Seeing this, little Lowly quickly stood up and explained, fearing that the two sides would fight. I am the queen of the elf kingdom, and I also have no evil intentions. Buzz. At the same time, from behind Athena, the elf queen stepped out and took the initiative to explain with a gentle smile. However, even though the elf queen took the initiative to explain, it still attracted the hostility of Xian Ku and Lily. They knew very well that Wang Kai must have had some kind of relationship with this queen when he was with the elves. Regarding this, the elf queen was secretly embarrassed. She smiled and looked at Wang Kai in the mirror. If he can't defeat the devil ruler, the elf queen and I will join hands to summon the goddess of life and my predecessor, Athena said. Impossible. My husband will definitely win. And it was a beautiful victory. I don't need your help. Xianka bit her red lips and flatly refused. Archmage Lily also nodded seriously, expressing her agreement. Don't worry, I have no interest in him. Athena said. Naturally, she could see where the hostility came from. The elf queen moved her red lips, but she couldn't say anything. In fact, she and Wang Kai had done everything in the elf kingdom except for the consummation. If she said that she had no interest in him, it would be very unconvincing. Moreover, she didn't want to do that in her heart. You don't need to explain. We know that you must have a special relationship with Wang Kai. Lily narrowed her beautiful eyes and said, This. The Elf Queen bitterly smiled and shook her head, not knowing how to respond. Chapter 1163. Look, he's about to open the gate of the abyss. Archmage Lily exclaimed. Whoosh. Hearing this, the girls' gazes froze as they looked at the mirror. When Wang Kai opened the gate of the abyss, a sharp tentacle suddenly pierced through it, shattering the gate of the abyss and piercing into Wang Kai's chest. Wang Kai, Xian Ku, and the other women turned pale with fright when they saw this. They stood up with ghastly pale faces. Don't panic, he should be fine, Athena frowned and said in surprise. Beside her, the Elven Queen was also shocked. She covered her mouth and said, Heavens, there's lightning in his body? There's no blood or flesh. Clearly, the sharp tentacle that pierced through Wang Kai's chest did not draw a single drop of blood. Wang Kai did not even feel the slightest pain. Are you the evil demon ruler? At the same time, Wang Kai looked down at the tentacle and waved his twin dragon rod, deflating the tentacle. He then took a few steps back. The hole in his chest healed under the nourishment of the lightning. It was as if he had not been injured at all. You're fine. Crack. Clang. The gate of the abyss shattered, and Lassen's face appeared from within. It was not a terrifying figure, but a human body. Moreover, it was Castor's body. His appearance and temperament were exactly the same. Of course I'm fine. I'm immortal. You can't do any harm to me. Even if I stand here and let you attack me for 10,000 years, I won't be in any danger, Wang Kai said casually with a shrug. Whoosh. Hearing this, Lassen's expression changed. He waved his hand in disbelief, and another sharp tentacle shot out. Puff. Just like before, it pierced through Wang Kai's chest. However, the result was the same. There was still no blood. Puff. 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 Immediately, as if he had gone mad, Castor kept attacking. In the blink of an eye, Wang Kai's entire body had been pierced through by the sharp tentacles. There were so many of them that he was covered in holes. F*CKU. Are you addicted to playing? Wang Kai's face darkened. He was extremely annoyed. Although he did not feel any pain, the feeling of being pierced was unbearable. Bang, 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 bang. In an instant, under Wang Kai's continuous smashing of the twin dragon staff, all the tentacles were beaten dry and shrunk back. Let's join hands and stop fighting. We're strong, so we shouldn't be enemies, La Sense said. Hearing this, black lines appeared on Wang Kai's forehead. He shook his head, and the holes all over his body had already healed. You've been fighting for a long time. You to join forces to fight? Is your brain to join forces to join forces? F*CK. Buzz. Rumble. Rumble. Suddenly, Wang Kai moved and appeared in front of Lassen in an instant. He waved his long stick and smashed it on Lassen's head. Under this rod, Castor's body was smashed into a meat patty and stuck to the ground. Now that we're even, there's no need to continue fighting. I can't hurt you, and you can't hurt me either. You're only in the divine realm. Buzz, Castor said indifferently. His shriveled body was restored to its original state. From Wang Kai's aura, it could be seen that he was only in the divine realm. Even though the twin dragon rod was a weapon of the divine realm, it could not cause any substantial damage. The difference in strength was too great. What should we do? It seems like neither of them can hurt the other. Archmage Lily exclaimed. Who is the demon that signed a contract with Castor? Is it really the demon ruler? Little Loli asked in disbelief. Her eyes were filled with worry. If it really was the demon ruler and he walked out of the abyss gate with Castor's body, Wang Kai would not be able to defeat him. The end result would be the destruction of the entire continent. No one could stop it. It's the demon ruler, Athena. Let's join forces and invite the goddess of life and your predecessor. No need for that. Wang Kai's strength is not limited to this. He can transform into an Azura. Feng Liyin said indifferently. That's right. After my husband transforms into an Azura, He can increase his realm from the divine realm to the divine realm. Xianke said proudly. Whoosh! Hearing this, Athena, Elven Queen, Archmage Lily, and little Lowly turned pale with fright. Transform into an Azura? What did that mean? An Azura was an evil god that was stronger than the demon ruler. The demon ruler was only an Azura's subordinate. Are you sure I can't hurt you? At the same time, Wang Kai stabbed the twin dragon rods into the ground and looked at Castor with a playful gaze. Naturally, he knew that the current Castor was no longer the original Castor. He was a demon, and a demon ruler at that. Otherwise, other demons would not be able to survive his attacks. You're only a divine cultivator of two elements. I used to follow Azura to the immortal cultivation world and the divine cultivation world. Although I didn't stay in the divine cultivation world for long, I'm a genuine divine cultivator of two elements. Since you're able to reach the divine cultivator of two elements, you should know the difference between us, Chesent said indifferently. When Wang Kai heard this, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. He narrowed his eyes and laughed softly. In that case, I will show you what true strength is. The power of God, Azura. Buzz. Boom. In an instant, under Castor's disdainful gaze, Wang Kai's body transformed into an Azura. A sinister, terrifying, and bloodthirsty, overbearing pressure swept out in all directions. Castor was so frightened that his pupils shrank and his face turned pale as he kept retreating. You are an Azura. Master, you are finally back. Castor quickly recovered and hurriedly knelt on the ground, kowtowing respectfully. When Wang Kai saw this, he was secretly amused. He immediately waved his scythe, and the blade hung over Castor's neck. He said indifferently, If I want you to die, will you die? Oh my God, is he really an Azura? The little Lowly screamed. Athena and the Elven Queen were also extremely shocked. Their expressions were unprecedentedly grave. If Wang Kai was really an Azura, then everything would be troublesome. Now that the demon sovereign had appeared, and with the Azuras, who could stop him? Even if the goddess of life came down, it would be useless. All the gods would die if they came. Ignorant. That is just one of Wang Kai's secret techniques. You have never been to the divine realm, so you can't understand the power of secret techniques. Feng Liyin said indifferently. Chapter 1164. Secret Technique? There was a secret technique in the world that could transform into an Azura. Hearing this, Athena and the others were in disbelief. Naturally, they didn't know much about the cultivation world. It could be said that they knew almost nothing. Perhaps only the goddess of life and Athena's predecessor could explain the uniqueness of the world of gods. The things that you guys don't know are simply as numerous as the carps crossing the river. Just watch honestly. Feng Liyin said proudly. What's there to be proud of? It's not like you can transform into an Azura. The little Lowly pouted and said disdainfully. That's right. It's my lover who's powerful, not you. Archmage Lily had a common enemy. Feng Liyin pursed her red lips and stared at Wang Kai in the mirror. She didn't know how to refute. Indeed, she didn't have the right to be proud of Wang Kai. Master, I can die for you. Buzz. Puff. Puff. Suddenly, the demon's sovereign attacked. Hundreds of black tentacles stabbed into Wang Kai's body. However, the result was the same as before. There was no injury at all. Damn it, Seinfeld shouted angrily. He immediately turned into a black smoke and ran into the abyss. Seeing this scene, Wang Kai shrugged his shoulders, waved his scythe, stepped on the huge skeleton, and jumped directly into the huge pit, following closely behind. Run, keep running. I'll just watch. I won't beat you. Wang Kai followed behind Seinfeld unhurriedly. He waved his scythe and slashed continuously. Every time he slashed, he deliberately avoided hitting Seinfeld's body. Regarding this, La Sent was extremely furious, but there was nothing he could do. He could only watch as Wang Kai attacked while he desperately tried to escape. He knew very well that he couldn't hurt Wang Kai. No matter how he attacked, he would die. Since that was the case, he might as well not fight. Even if he kept running, it was better than being killed. However, the results still made him feel hopeless. Although he kept running, his speed was not enough to shake off Wang Kai. He was constantly being followed closely from behind. Remove one of your legs. Wang. Puffa. The sickle slashed down and sliced off Levant's left leg. Blood splattered everywhere as he roared in pain. Don't take this one either, hee. Puff. In the blink of an eye, the scythe swung down again, turning the one-legged lost scent into a legless demon. He was relying on his pitch-black demonic power to support his body as he quickly fled. However, it was obvious that his speed had decreased significantly. Why are you getting slower and slower? Can't you run faster? If that's the case, I really don't want to play with you anymore. I even want to kill you. Wang Kai flapped his blood-red wings and laughed mockingly. I'll run. I'll run. Hearing this, Levant was terrified. He hurriedly increased his speed and ran for his life. He was afraid that Wang Kai would be displeased and kill him. Yes, that's right. Run faster. King faster. Don't take this arm. Wang Kai frowned and slashed down with his sickle. Puff. Seinfeld's screams reverberated in the abyss. The heart-wrenching pain almost drove him crazy. He swore that he had never experienced such torture and humiliation. As the evil demon ruler and the subordinate of the evil god Azura, he had always played with others. When had he ever been played with? Don't take this one either, No. I'll King run. I'll King run faster. Before Wang Kai could finish speaking, Levant screamed crazily. He looked extremely sad and indignant, as if he had been greatly wronged. Anyone who saw it would feel sad and tear up. It was a miserable sight. Even Athena and the others who were in the dean's office at the Roland Magic Academy frowned and turned their heads away. Their beautiful eyes were filled with pity. Even though the person being tortured was the evil demon ruler, who was an out-and-out demon, Wang Kai's methods were too cruel. He clearly had the ability to kill the evil demon ruler, but he didn't. Instead, he tortured and played with him all the way to the deepest humiliation. They could imagine how much the evil demon ruler hated Wang Kai in his heart. Your King is stick now, and your speed is getting slower and slower. I'm really not interested in playing with you anymore. How about I just kill you? No. I still have my upper body. Yes, I still have my head. I still have my eyes, mouth, nose, and ears. Take your time. Don't kill me. I'll speed up. Sasson shouted crazily, almost begging for mercy with grief and indignation. It was really unbearable. Who would have thought that the dignified evil demon ruler, the #1 fighting force below Azura, would have such a miserable day? Perhaps even Azura and the evil demon ruler himself didn't think of it. Ears gone, nose gone, eyes gone, upper body gone. You only have your mouth left. What do we do? Can we still play? Under Wang Kai's continuous attacks, La Scent had been slashed by the scythe until only his mouth was left. Black demonic energy wrapped around him as he quickly fled. Yes, wait until I reach the lair. I'll transform into my original form. At that time, we'll fight again. Original form? Lair? Wang Kai frowned when he heard this. No wonder the evil demon ruler kept running downwards. It turned out that he was prepared to deal with him. Otherwise, knowing that he couldn't beat him and being humiliated like this, he would have stopped long ago and killed him at will. Good. But you're too slow. I'll send you on your way. Shio. Suddenly, Wang Kai waved his sickle and slapped the evil demon ruler's mouth. It was like slapping a piece of meat. The evil demon ruler fell down at lightning speed. Faintly, one could hear the evil demon ruler scream. Why hasn't he killed the evil demon ruler? If he transformed into his original form, would he be able to beat him? Athena frowned and said with some displeasure, Shut up, what do you understand? Feng Liyin coldly glanced at her and said indifferently, Wang Kai is such a bad habit. He likes to bully people. He can kill them at will, but he doesn't. He likes to torture them to death. If you don't agree, you can go down and reason with him. No, big sister Yin. If she goes down, Wang Kai Wei will kill the devil sovereign and then have sex with her. Xianke shook her red lips and said unhappily. Athena's beauty was definitely not bad. How could Wang Kai control himself when he saw her? Chapter 1165. It wasn't just Xianke who didn't believe that Wang Kai could resist. Even Feng Liyan, Archmage Lily, the little lowly, and the Elven Queen didn't believe it. After all, apart from Athena, everyone here had been taken advantage of by Wang Kai. Hearing this, Athena pursed her lips and didn't dare to reply. Naturally, she already knew about Wang Kai's character. She had heard a lot from the Elven Queen, so when she met Wang Kai, she appeared like an old woman. If he saw her like this, she would definitely be at a disadvantage. Athena was quite confident in her appearance. In fact, it could be said that every woman was like this. Master, you can't go down to find him. He will definitely eat you and force himself on you, the little lowly said seriously. Athena couldn't get angry when she saw his serious expression. Yes, Principal Athena, you must listen to Principal Lorraine. You can't go down and you can't see Wang Kai. Otherwise, he will eat you and take me and Xianke with him. The four of us will have sex together. That kind of feeling is really embarrassing. Archmage Lily blinked her beautiful eyes and spoke without thinking. Hearing this, Xianke's face turned red, and he didn't even dare to raise his head. He secretly spat. He didn't expect a woman from a noble family in the magic world to be so open-minded, daring to say anything. I know that you guys have sex together. I saw it. The little lowly nodded and looked at Athena. She said seriously, Master, what she said is true. I saw it with my own eyes. At that time, Wang Kai wanted to invite me. If I didn't run fast enough, I would have been eaten by him. He likes lowly a lot. He also likes mature women. Although he looks like he's only 18 years old, his heart is no different from a 30-year-old. It's very, the Elven Queen suddenly said. Athena, who was standing at the side, was dumbfounded. She didn't think that these women, even her good friend, the Elven Queen, would join the group to persuade her. It was obvious that she didn't want anything to happen between her and Wang Kai. Don't you think too highly of Wang Kai? Would I fall for him? You don't have to worry. Athena shook her head. It's one thing if you don't like him, but the problem is that he will like you. The little lowly clenched her teeth and said, Yes, that is the crux of the problem. Archmage Lily said solemnly, If he takes a liking to you, you won't be able to run away. Even if he doesn't have a place in your heart, your body will be his, the Elven Queen said in distress. She secretly thought that she would also be eaten by Wang Kai 3 years later, right? With Wang Kai's repeated attacks, he would often go to the elf tribe to look for her. Not only did he take advantage of her, he was only left with the last step. At that time, the Elven Queen was not confident that she could withstand Wang Kai's attack. This Wang Kai is too dangerous. I won't see him. Athena finally became serious. When she looked at Wang Kai again, her beautiful eyes were filled with fear. Seeing her like this, the girls breathed a sigh of relief. It was better to have one less woman by Wang Kai's side. Don't make wild guesses. They have already started fighting. They are evenly matched. Feng Liyan said in a deep voice. Whoosh. When these words came out, Athena and the others' eyes narrowed. They quickly looked at the mirror. I didn't expect you to have some skills. Bang! Wang Kai's scythe had been broken by the devil ruler, and only half of his wings were left. The huge skeleton he was standing on was also shattered. Now, holding the twin dragon staff, he clashed head-on with the devil ruler, and both of them retreated a few thousand steps. I said that I have the ability to fight with you. On a huge altar, the devil ruler had turned into a black ball of flesh. There were thousands of densely packed tentacles on it. They were constantly swaying, giving people goosebumps. Moreover, he also had a lot of eyes. Just like the tentacles, there were thousands of blood-red eyes. They were so densely packed that it made people's scalps tingle. You have the ability to fight with me, but what's the use? You can't hurt me. Wang Kai shrugged and said disdainfully. Buzz. As soon as his voice fell, lightning appeared, and the broken wings were restored. The blood-red armor on his body was also restored. Even the scythe was restored to its original appearance. Such a scene made the devil ruler extremely angry. This is impossible. Are you a fourth cultivator of true virtue? The devil ruler roared angrily. Nothing is impossible. You and I are both third cultivators of true virtue. I can hurt you, but you can't hurt me. This is the law of the divine technique. Wang Kai waved his twin dragon staff and suddenly slashed down. Buzz! The twin dragon staff directly became bigger and thicker, turning into a huge golden staff that could flatten a mountain. It directly slammed into the devil ruler's body. Bang! Rumble! Under this blow, the devil ruler was directly smashed and shriveled. Thousands of tentacles were shattered, and thousands of eyes were also shattered. Black blood splattered everywhere. A lot smaller? Wang Kai frowned as he looked at the demon ruler that had recovered. He discovered that the demon ruler's size had shrunk by more than half. Let's not fight anymore, okay? Let's join hands. If not, let me be your subordinate. I really don't want to fight with you anymore. This is not fair. Seeing that Wang Kai had discovered his changes, the devil ruler finally panicked and almost cried for mercy. Sure enough, every time I hit you with a fatal blow, you will shrink a size. At the same time, your strength will weaken. If I hit you thousands of times in a row, I'm afraid you will directly die, right? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and asked with a playful smile. Whoosh! As soon as these words came out, the devil ruler trembled in fear and begged for mercy. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. I really know that I was wrong. I will listen to whatever you say. Whatever you want me to do, I will agree, okay? I admit defeat. I really admit defeat. I don't want to fight with you anymore. At the end of his words, the devil ruler was like a child and cried loudly on the spot. His crying was extremely harsh to the ears. Such a scene made black lines appear on the foreheads of Feng, Li Yin, and the others. After being humiliated by Wang Kai, he actually cried. How strong was this devil ruler's self-esteem? You have been to the world of true virtue, right? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and asked playfully. Yes, I have been there. I have cultivated there for a year. The devil ruler quickly replied. Chapter 1166. Wang Kai shrugged and faintly smiled. Very well, I won't kill you for the time being. You still have some use. Whoosh! Hearing this, the demon ruler felt as if he had been granted amnesty. Although he didn't know what Wang Kai wanted him to do, as long as he could avoid death, he didn't mind doing anything. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and asked, Where is the lifeline of Azura? Under the altar. The demon ruler didn't hesitate. Open it, Wang Kai said indifferently. Yes. The demon dominator acknowledged the order and waved its tentacles, flipping over the entire altar. It only stopped when a blood-colored cocoon appeared. This is the lifeline of the evil god Azura. His second incarnation is being nurtured inside, the demon ruler said. Second incarnation? Wang Kai slightly narrowed his eyes and playfully asked, Why didn't he merge his incarnation with his main body? The evil god Azura said that his incarnation was using the power of his soul to cross over to the third universe. There, he seized the body of a creature and is cultivating there. When he reaches the deity realm, he will merge with his main body and directly break through to the god of true virtue realm. Oh, right, there's another incarnation of his on earth. Soon, he will reach the god of true virtue realm and enter the second and first universes, the demon ruler said. God of true virtue realm and god of true virtue realm. Wang Kai was startled. He didn't expect Azura to be so powerful that he could cross over with his soul. Wouldn't that be the same as him, crossing over and being reborn? Would it be the same on Earth? Moreover, he even reached into the third universe. Wang Kai didn't know what the third universe was, but he was sure that it was stronger than the world of gods, the world of immortals, the world of mutants, and the world of magic. Destroy him. Wang Kai furrowed his brows and said with lingering fear. He had just become a god of true virtue realm, and by relying on the power of God, he could temporarily obtain the strength of a god of true virtue realm. However, Azura was already advancing toward the god of true virtue and the god of true virtue. The gap between them was simply too big. I'm sorry, but I can't destroy it. The clone of the evil god Azura is very hard. He said that only the god of true virtue has the ability to destroy it. The devil ruler said apologetically. Only the god of true virtue could destroy it? Wang Kai didn't believe it when he heard this. He waved his scythe and twin dragon staff and swept them at the blood-colored cocoon. Clang! Dang dang! Crack! However, the result was that the scythe shattered and cracks appeared on the twin dragon rods. Wang Kai couldn't help but take a deep breath after seeing this. He stared blankly at the cracked, dual dragons with an unsightly expression. The twin dragon staff was a divine weapon that cultivated 3 gods. But when it struck the Azura incarnation, cracks appeared on it. Wang Kai believed that the twin dragon rods would definitely shatter if they were hit again. Is there any way to destroy Azura's lifeline? Wang Kai frowned and ruthlessly smashed the twin dragon staff at the cocoon. The result was as expected, the cocoon shattered. Wang Kai didn't care about it. The twin dragon staff was already cracked, so it wasn't of much use to keep it. At this point, he could only rely on the system. Host, to destroy Azura's lifeline, 100,000 bragging points are required. 100,000 bragging points. After hearing the notification, black lines appeared on Wang Kai's forehead. If he had known earlier, he wouldn't have wasted his bragging points in the world of true virtue. In the world of true virtue, bragging would only give him 100 bragging points. If he needed 100,000 bragging points, he would have to brag 1,000 times. Just thinking about it made Wang Kai's scalp tingle. The devil ruler suddenly asked, "Since you can transform into Azura, you should be able to use his ability, right?" Wang Kai raised his eyebrows, nodded, and said, "That's right. Do you have any ideas?" The devil ruler said, "That's easy. You can use universal cleave to cut Azura's incarnation into hundreds of fragments and bring them to different places. This way, even if Azura's soul in Universe 3 becomes a god-grade powerhouse, he won't be able to return to his original body." Bang! Wang Kai's eyes lit up. With a flip of his hand, he slapped the devil ruler, causing it to shrink again. He praised, "You're very smart. I'll let you live for a few more years." The devil ruler blinked its remaining hundreds of eyes, which were filled with grief and indignation. With this, its strength had decreased by another 10%. If it wanted to recover, it would take at least a few years. However, no matter how sullen the devil ruler was, it had no other choice. Now that it had betrayed Azura, it could only help Wang Kai. Otherwise, Azura would definitely kill it. Universal cleave. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Wang Kai waved his hand, and the huge blood-red cocoon was directly cut into thousands of tiny fragments, scattering all over the ground. Put them all in the system. Wang Kai frowned and thought for a moment. Rather than bring them elsewhere, it would be safer to put them in the system. Thinking of this, with a wave of his hand, all the fragments were integrated into the system. In this way, Azura would take the initiative to find him sooner or later. Wang Kai shrugged and asked indifferently, "With your current strength, you're still a triple cultivation god, right?" "Yes, but please don't hit me again. One more time, and I'll fall to double cultivation god," the devil ruler said as if begging for mercy. No. Why would I hit you? Follow me in the future." Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled mockingly. With a wave of his hand, he directly put the devil ruler into the system. With a tap of his foot, he disappeared. "He's back." At the same time, Athena, who was in the president's office, exclaimed in surprise. She quickly shook her body and transformed into an old lady. The queen of the elves and the other women looked at her with sympathy. "The matter in the Kunlun realm may be settled later. I don't have the ability to destroy Azura's second incarnation for the time being. Now that I'm back in the Kunlun realm, I don't know if I can defeat him with the combat strength of a triple cultivation god." Wang Kai appeared on the sofa and said with a frown. Once Azura's separated soul on Earth reached the god realm, Wang Kai really didn't have much confidence that he could defeat Azura, who was a fourth cultivation god. Even with the Thunder God divine technique, he might not be able to come out unscathed. After all, the difference between a triple cultivation god and a fourth cultivation god was too big. Then what do you want to do? Feng Yin asked with a frown. You and Xian could stay in the realm of magic for now. I'm going to the realm of cultivators to reach the true triple cultivation god. At that time, I'll rely on the secret technique to obtain the combat strength of a fourth cultivation god. At that time, it should be easy to destroy Azura, Wang Kai said after thinking for a while. Then how long will it take for you to reach the true triple cultivation god? When you go to the realm of cultivators, do you want to flirt with fairies? Feng Yin asked in a deep voice. Chapter 1167. That's right, husband. In the magic world, as Xianke spoke, he looked at Archmage Lily, then at the Elven Queen, and finally at the little lowly. Why are you looking at me? There's nothing going on between us. The little lowly pouted and snorted in displeasure. There's nothing going on between us. The Elven Queen said shyly. Black lines appeared on Wang Kai's forehead as he looked at them speechlessly. Finally, he fixed his gaze on Athena. However, after a glance, Wang Kai shifted his gaze. He knew that Athena had changed her appearance. She probably didn't want to attract his attention. Since she was already prepared, he wouldn't pester her. There were countless beauties. One more wouldn't make a difference. I'll be back from the cultivation world soon. At most, it'll take a month. Wang Kai shrugged and said calmly. Hearing this, Feng Yin and the other girls were a little suspicious. However, it didn't refute him. Even if he returned to the cultivation world, he might not be able to defeat Azura. Instead of going back to die and fighting a battle that he had no confidence in, he might as well strengthen himself. Otherwise, if Wang Kai was defeated, there would be no hope for the cultivation world. At that time, Earth, the magic world, the cultivation world, and the four great universes would all become Azura's territory. It's a pity that one of Azura's avatars is on Earth. I'm afraid it will be very troublesome to find him. If he discovers my existence, I won't be able to go to Earth for the time being. Wang Kai frowned and thought to himself, is there a way to go to the cultivation world? Host, you can use Azura's skill, feathers shattering the heavens, to go to the cultivation world. Of course, if you want to go there in an instant, you'll have to spend 10,000 bragging points. 10,000 bragging points. Wang Kai's forehead was filled with black lines. He immediately transformed into Azura's form, and with a flap of his wings, he tore open the space. Wait for me here. I'll be back in a month. Wang Kai looked at Feng Yin and the other girls as he spoke indifferently. After that, he directly closed the spatial rift and rushed towards the depths. I've already said that you don't have the ability to destroy my lifeline. However, I'm truly surprised that you were able to reach the divinity realm so quickly. When Wang Kai reached the bottom, Azura's figure mysteriously appeared and looked over in an indifferent manner. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and said with a playful smile, that's why I'm going to the cultivation world to become a triple cultivation god and fight with you. Are you afraid that I'll become a triple cultivation god? It seemed like Azura still didn't know that his clone had been reduced to fragments. With the system keeping the fragments, no matter how strong Azura was, he wouldn't be able to see through it. No, I'm here to help you head to the other worlds. Even though you can use my powers, you still don't know how to reach the other worlds. Azura smiled faintly. Help me? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes slightly. Indeed, he really didn't know how to go to the other worlds. However, it was too easy to use the system to find out how to go to the cultivation world. On the contrary, Azura was willing to take the initiative to help, which surprised Wang Kai. Yes, I'll help you. You want to go to the cultivation world, right? Go. This is the last chance I'm giving you. If you still can't fight with me. Azura's aura suddenly became extremely cold as he finished speaking. Fourth cultivation god. Sensing his aura, Wang Kai's expression suddenly froze. The clone in the third universe had already been stored in the system. Azura was able to become the fourth cultivation god because he had successfully conquered the supernatural realm where Earth was located. Buzz. Azura ignored Wang Kai's surprise. With a wave of his hand, he opened a crack, and a mountain surrounded by immortal chi came into view. This is the last chance. Don't let me see you again next time. Of course, if you have the ability to defeat me, you can use my powers and appear in front of me. Whoosh! As soon as he finished speaking, Azura's figure disappeared. Looks like I'll have to cultivate a divine technique that can allow me to travel freely between the 7 universes. At the very least, I'll have to accumulate more bragging points. Wang Kai frowned and said with an ugly expression. Twice, he was intercepted by Azura. Every time, it would end with him giving up on the battle. Wang Kai didn't know what the outcome would be if he were to fight with Azura now. But with the system, even if he couldn't win, he could easily leave. Cultivation World. Buzz. Wang Kai took a step forward and entered the cultivation world. As the space closed, Wang Kai's gaze was fixed on an immortal mountain in front of him. The universe's most handsome god is here. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and shouted, Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the 10th level of the Chi Realm. Host, Wang Kai Class, Cultivator Realm. Chi Realm Immortal Techniques, none immortal skills, none immortal equipment, none bragging points, 100 experience points, 01000. Host, the cultivation world is divided into Chi Realm, Foundation Establishment, Inedia, Golden Core, Nascent Soul, Astral Body, Separating Soul, Combination, and Mahayana. Other than the lowest Chi Realm, the rest are divided into early, middle, late, and full. All the fairies and beauties in the immortal realm are my exclusive property. Yes, my playthings. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled faintly. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the early Foundation Establishment realm. How dare you say such filthy words in front of the 6 courts of the immortal Tao? Watch out for this. Suddenly, along with a delicate and angry shout, a young girl in a white dress was stepping on a green flying sword, quickly approaching. 5 Thunder Talisman. Buzz. When she tossed a yellow talisman into the air, purple-white lightning struck the talisman. Wang Kai's mouth twitched. With a light wave of his hand, the lightning dissipated. He turned to look at the girl in front of him. Black lines appeared on his forehead. Looking at her appearance, she was only 16 or 17 years old. She was quite pretty. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that she was a beauty. But her flying sword was obviously unstable. Stepping on the green sword, she wobbled in the air as if she could fall at any time. Damn, demon, I didn't expect your cultivation to be so strong. Let's fight again next time. The girl's face was slightly red. She quickly turned around and tried to run away. Fight your ass next time? Do you think you can run? Black lines appeared on Wang Kai's forehead. He was speechless as he stretched out his hand and grabbed. Instantly, he pulled the young girl to his side. Chapter 1168. Damn demon, let go of me. The little girl chattered and struggled with all her might. However, her cultivation level was too low. She was restrained on the spot and could not move at all. Wang Kai shook his head and said in amusement, You're just a chi refining realm cultivator. You don't have any skills, and you dare to use your sword to subdue demons? Don't look down on me. Yes, I'm very weak now, but in the future I will definitely be the ruler of the entire immortal cultivation world. I can beat a lowly hooligan like you with just a breath. The little girl snorted arrogantly. Seeing that she could not break free, she tilted her head and said indifferently, Kill me or torture me as you wish. However, before that, I must warn you. The number 1 genius of the immortal Tao 6 courts is my idol. He will avenge me. Wang Kai rubbed his nose when he heard this. He did not expect this little girl to be so good at bragging. As for the so-called number 1 genius of the immortal Tao 6 courts, he did not pay much attention to it. No matter how talented he was just trash. Then listen well. I may look like a little demon now, but in reality, I'm a big demon. I'm extremely vicious and cruel. I won't kill you. Instead, I'll strip you naked and eat a piece of your flesh every day. Hee, I heard that the flesh on a woman's chest is the most delicious. Ah, no, don't say any more. I don't want to be eaten by you. Before Wang Kai could finish speaking, the little girl was so scared that her face turned pale. She quickly interrupted him. That kind of death was truly too humiliating and too painful. The little girl was unwilling to continue listening to it. That won't do. Since you've already provoked me, why are you still threatening me with the number one genius of the immortal Tao 8 courts? Think about it. If you were me, would you be so lenient? Wang Kai spread his hands and said helplessly, Okay, I don't think so. Bah, bah, bah. I'm a number one genius of the immortal Tao 6 courts. Moreover, as long as it's pardonable, it can be forgiven. You should be kinder. That's the way of cultivators. But I'm not an immortal cultivator. I'm a devil cultivator, and a great devil at that. How can I forgive you? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and grinned playfully. Whoosh! Hearing this, the little girl was immediately dumbfounded. That's right. Can you reason with a devil? Thinking of this, the little girl felt extremely wronged and regretful. If she had known this would happen, she would have listened to her grandfather and not come out to cause trouble. Looking at her aggrieved appearance, her tears fell down. Wang Kai grinned and stopped teasing her. He said faintly, You still have a way out. Really? You want to ravage me? You want me to give birth to your child? No, if that's the case, I might as well die. I want to marry my idol. The little girl trembled as she spoke. She had long heard that devil cultivators were ruthless and extremely licentious. Any female cultivator caught by them would be humiliated. Aside from giving birth to children who would receive excellent training from devil cultivators, none of the mothers would be able to survive. Wang Kai looked at her with black lines on his forehead. With his hands behind his back, he said faintly, Be my disciple. I'll teach you the devil Tao. In just one day, you'll be able to defeat your idol and make him see you as his idol. How about it? Don't lie to me. In the current cultivation world, the strongest genius is my idol, Mu Qinyan. He took more than 300 years to reach the Mahayana realm. He's already the fastest genius to reach the Mahayana realm in the cultivation world. The little girl said disdainfully. She had no intention of being fooled at all. In this regard, Wang Kai was quite helpless. He shrugged and said, Think about it. I'm a devil. I've plundered the entire cultivation world's resources just to train you. With me by your side to protect you, you can become the strongest person in the cultivation world for as long as you want. Don't brag. You'll definitely be killed by my idol. You're not worth it, devil ruler. The devil ruler who followed Azura to attack our cultivation world was killed by my idol. Are you afraid? The little girl pouted disdainfully. Devil ruler? Killed by someone? Wang Kai was stunned when he heard this. The devil ruler's original body was now in the system. When did he get killed? Could it be that the so-called number one genius was a liar? Alas, Azura is just my disciple. Wang Kai shook his head and sighed. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the intermediate foundation establishment realm. You're too good at bragging. Let go of me, or my idol will definitely kill you, the little girl chirped. Forget it. Since you don't agree to be my disciple, I'll have to strip you naked and eat you. I'll start with your upper body. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled faintly. No, I'll agree, okay? Let go of me. The little girl was so frightened that her face turned pale. Only then did she realize that she was in no position to negotiate. Buzz, isn't that the right thing to do? Wang Kai shrugged and released her with a wave of his hand. He smiled faintly and said, Come, let's do the apprenticeship ceremony. Damn it. The little girl was filled with hatred. She gritted her teeth and was about to kneel down. No. My apprenticeship ceremony is very simple. Just come over and give me a kiss. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled playfully. What kind of apprenticeship ceremony is this? Why haven't I heard of it before? The little girl's eyes widened and glared at Wang Kai angrily. He was clearly toying with her. This is the rule of our sect. Hurry up, or I'll eat you. Wang Kai pretended to be indifferent as he said. The little girl was so angry that her delicate body trembled nonstop. However, she could not resist at all. She could only quickly step forward, stand on her tiptoes, and kiss Wang Kai's face fiercely. The strength of her kiss was as if she wanted to use her mouth to kiss Wang Kai to death. I'm already your disciple now. Hurry up and teach me the cultivation method and help me plunder resources. You said that you could make me invincible in a day. The little girl pouted and said disdainfully, There's no need for that. Let's put the matter of plundering resources aside for now. You need to know that after becoming my disciple, you are now invincible. In the entire Taoism community, no one is your opponent and no one dares to provoke you. Wang Kai placed his hands behind his back and said proudly, Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. The reward is 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the advanced stage of the foundational level. Oh my God, how can you be so good at bragging? Don't you know the meaning of the word shame? The little girl was about to go crazy when she heard this. However, Wang Kai had no time to pay attention to her. The system had given him a bragging reward. What did this mean? Chapter 1169. Could it be that in the immortal realm, there is someone who could fight with him? That was obviously impossible, right? Wang Kai frowned and asked with a dark face, Is there anyone powerful in the immortal realm? Host, no one is a match for you. If that's the case, why are you still giving me a reward? Host, although no one is a match for you, there are many people who don't know your strength. There are also many people who dare to provoke your disciple, and even provoke you. Hearing the notification, Wang Kai's forehead was full of black lines. He finally understood. Where do you want to go? Wang Kai's gaze turned and looked at the little girl who wanted to escape on her sword. The corner of his mouth slightly raised. I want to go home. The little girl pouted. Is your family on this mountain? Are you a disciple of the immortal realm? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and asked playfully. No, that's right. My name is Fairy Zhou. I am a disciple of the immortal realm, one of the immortal realm. You should let me go. Otherwise, you will really. I will go with you. As your master, I naturally have the obligation to see your family and give them a good opportunity. I can't help it. Who asked me to be so kind and magnanimous? Wang Kai shrugged and said as a matter of fact, Congratulations to host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to host for successfully breaking through to the foundation establishment realm. You are a demon of the immortal realm. You dare to go to the immortal realm? Are you not afraid of death? Fairy Zhou asked in surprise. Didn't I tell you? This immortal realm is my territory. No one dares to act pretentious in front of me. As long as I want to, I can kill anyone with a flick of my finger. Of course, this is using the strength of the immortal realm. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled proudly. Congratulations to host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to host for successfully breaking through to the foundation establishment realm. You can go back with me, but you can't say that you are my master. Also, if you are killed, it has nothing to do with me. Fairy Zhou said with a red face. Wang Kai was simply too good at bragging. Once such a person arrived at the immortal Dao 6 courts, he would definitely be mocked by his fellow cultivators. Forget it. I'll let you see what your master is capable of. Come out, demon ruler. Wang Kai shrugged and waved his hand. Devil overlord? Fairy Zhou, who originally wanted to refute him, was suddenly stunned. When the evil demon ruler's enormous body appeared, Fairy Zhou was so scared that her face turned pale and she fell to the ground. She had seen the demon ruler before, so she remembered his appearance. Moreover, she could not erase it from her mind for the rest of her life. It was not an exaggeration to say that it was a psychological shadow. Master, you have come to the immortal Dao world and summoned this little one. Do you want this little one to help you kill people? He Back then, I killed countless cultivators, and all of them were beaten into hiding. If Azura hadn't said that there was no need to kill some ants, I would have already destroyed the immortal cultivation world. The Devil Sovereign blinked his blood-red eyes and laughed mischievously. It really is the demon ruler. Fairy Zhou was so scared that her delicate body trembled nonstop. Go find a genius from the immortal Dao 6 courts called Mu Qingyan. Don't kill him, just tease him. And scare him as much as possible. Scare him until he pisses his pants. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled with narrowed eyes. Mu Qingyan? This name, I think I've heard it before. The demon ruler was puzzled for a moment, then suddenly reacted and said, "This little one remembers. It's a young boy who lived for several hundred years. He was weak, but in order to escape from my hands, he knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. He even wanted to be my subordinate." "What? That's impossible." Before Wang Kai could speak, Fairy Zhou angrily retorted. She didn't want to believe that her idol was such a person with no dignity. "You're definitely not the demon ruler." "Definitely. The demon ruler was killed by my idol, Mu Qingyan. Everyone in the immortal Dao world knows about this." Fairy Zhou angrily rebuked. "Mu Qingyan killed me? Did he say that?" The demon ruler sneered and suddenly stretched out his tentacles. After a while, he said respectfully to Wang Kai, "Master, I've found Mu Qingyan's whereabouts. He's in this mountain. I'll go and deal with him." "And go. Remember not to kill him. Just scare him." Wang Kai waved his hand and said rather casually, "No problem. Buzz." The fiend sovereign responded and then disappeared into the void. Fairy Zhou was so scared that her pretty face turned pale. Even a Mahayana realm cultivator couldn't do such a thing. She heard that only immortals could do it. He's really the demon ruler?" Fairy Zhou asked in a daze. "Yes, he is. If you don't believe me, lead the way. Let's go and see the fate of that so-called #1 genius." Wang Kai shrugged and smiled faintly. Fairy Zhou froze in place. If the demon ruler was really her idol, then all of Mu Qingyan's previous achievements were fake. He didn't kill the demon ruler at all. Instead, he was forced to kneel and beg for mercy by the demon ruler. Was that how he saved his life? Rumble, rumble. In an instant, the immortal mountain in the distance trembled. Inside, terrifying energy shot up into the sky. Looks like they've started fighting." Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled faintly. "No, hurry up and call the demon ruler back. If he causes trouble again, the immortal Dao world will really be destroyed. And my family." Last time, they went into hiding with great difficulty and managed to avoid a calamity. If this time, Fairy Zhou cried out again and again. At the end of her words, she looked at Wang Kai with a pleading look. "It's fine. He's not the real demon ruler." Wang Kai shrugged and said rather casually, No, I was wrong. Master, I beg you, please call the demon ruler back." Fairy Zhou was so scared that her face turned pale. She hurriedly knelt on the ground and hugged Wang Kai's leg. She kept crying and begging. "Don't worry, he won't kill anyone. Come, Master will take you to see the show." Wang Kai shrugged and smiled faintly. With a wave of his hand, he brought her up into the sky. He didn't fly on his sword. Instead, he walked on air. "Master, what realm are you at? Have you become an immortal?" Fairy Zhou exclaimed. "If I have to say, the immortal emperors of the immortal world are only at the level of a younger brother." Wang Kai shrugged and said rather casually, "Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the mid-stage of Anidia." Chapter 1170. The Realm Above the Immortal Emperor? Fairy Zhou couldn't believe it. Even the Immortal Emperor realm only existed in legends. It was the Immortal Emperor who ruled over 10,000 immortals. In the entire immortal realm, the Immortal Emperor had the final say. What is the realm above the Immortal Emperor? The Great Immortal Emperor? Fairy Zhou frowned and asked in a daze. The Great Immortal Emperor Wang Kai's mouth twitched. He didn't know how the realms in the immortal realm were divided, but the immortal emperor realm should be on the same level as the heaven-opening realm. Otherwise, when he said the immortal emperor was his younger brother, the system wouldn't have given him a reward. No, it's the ancestor of the immortal emperor. To put it simply, it's the ancestor of the immortal emperor. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled faintly. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the late stage of Anidia. The ancestor of the immortal emperor. The ancestor of the immortal emperor. Fairy Zhou was stunned. She wanted to refute Wang Kai, but even the demon sovereign had been subdued by him, so she couldn't refute him. After all, when Azura came to the immortal realm, he said that he had defeated the immortal emperor. Host, you are now in a corner of the immortal realm. It belongs to the eastern celestial land. The immortal emperor lives in the central celestial land. Wang Kai was stunned when he heard the prompt. He thought that the place he was in was just the beginning stage of immortal cultivation. After all this time, this was the immortal realm? This prompt is good. It seems that I should go to the place where the immortal emperor lives in the central celestial land. That's where I can show off. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled. What's the central celestial land? Fairy Zhou blinked her beautiful eyes and asked curiously. It's the place where the immortal emperor lives. This place is called the Eastern Celestial Land. It's the beginning stage of immortal cultivation. To put it bluntly, it's the beginner's village, a place where trash cultivators cultivate. Wang Kai shrugged and said indifferently, You're talking nonsense. The immortal emperor lives in the immortal realm. This is not the immortal realm. Fairy Zhou refuted. Wang Kai couldn't be bothered to pay attention to her. It would be strange if a little girl who couldn't even control a sword knew about the immortal dimension. If not for the system notification, he wouldn't have known. Kid, run. Hurry up and run. Motherf asterisk cur. Didn't you say that I was killed by you? Come and kill one. Following the sounds of ridicule, Wang Kai and Fairy Zhou, who were sitting on the clouds, immediately looked down. The demon dominator was waving its tentacles and chasing after a handsome young man in white who was holding an immortal sword. Furthermore, every time it attacked, it would intentionally not hit its target. Instead, it would constantly tease its target from behind. This scene reminded Wang Kai of the time when he was toying with the Devil Sovereign. Qin Yun, senior brother Mu, nephew husband. On the Celestial Mountain, countless experts of the older generation, as well as the geniuses of the younger generation, stared at the fleeing Mu Qingyun with pale faces. They never imagined that the number one genius who claimed to have killed the Demon Dominator would be chased down and humiliated by the Demon Dominator. Wang Kai curled his lips and said disdainfully, See, I told you. That idol of yours isn't even worth a fart. His ability to boast is terrible. This, Fairy Zhou was dumbfounded. Although she had expected this, seeing it with her own eyes, she still couldn't accept it. Her idol of many years, the number one genius of the immortal dimension, was beaten so miserably. You need to know that boasting is compatible with strength. If you don't have the ability to boast, then your boasting is just a joke. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled indifferently. He thought back to when he was boasting wildly, saying that he could destroy the heavens and destroy the earth. Didn't he achieve all of that now? Not to mention destroying the heavens. He could crush a star with a wave of his hand. It couldn't be easier. But this Mu Qingyun said that he had killed the Demon Dominator. Now retribution had come. He could only be beaten up by the Demon Dominator like a drowning dog. Master, those ants are so noisy. Can I kill them? I can take the opportunity to recover my strength and accompany Master to beat up the immortal Emperor again. The Demon Dominator stopped chasing and stopped in midair. He extended his tentacles and chased after the fleeing Mu Qingyun. Master? The Demon Dominator has a master? Heavens! Could it be that Azura? The Azura who beat up the immortal Emperor? In an instant, the cultivators of the immortal Tao Six Courts cried out in horror. Just the Demon Dominator alone was enough to make them powerless. If there was another existence stronger than the demon dominator, then wouldn't the immortal dimension be doomed? Who would be able to stop them? Don't kill. Ben Shao has always been a gentleman. How can he fight and kill? Isn't that bad? You must keep a low profile. Keep a low profile. Harmony is the most important thing. Wang Kai waved his hand and smiled faintly. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the peak of Anidia. Whoosh! Hearing the voice from the sky, everyone looked up. When they saw that the speaker was only a 17 or 18-year-old boy, the cultivators froze in place in shock. Even Mu Qingyun, who was running for his life, tumbled and crashed to the ground. Isn't that Fairy Zhou, the Buzhou Immortal Court's child? Heavens! Is she the one who brought this disaster upon herself? Shut up. Do you want to die? Don't you see the demon dominator's master next to him? In an instant, everyone's faces turned pale. Great Immortal, please spare our lives. Spare the Immortal Dao 6 courts. Great Immortal, please spare Qingyun. He's my husband. If something happens to him, what can I do? Enough. All of you shut up. Wang Kai's forehead was full of black lines. He waved his hand and said faintly, Demon Dominator, come back. All right. The Demon Dominator replied respectfully. He glanced at the crowd unwillingly, then stepped into the air and floated behind Wang Kai. That kind of colossus was truly terrifying to the extreme. However, the young man sitting in front of the Demon Dominator was the most dangerous one. Fairy Zhou is Ben Xiao's disciple. From now on, she will go to the Central Continent Deity Land with Ben Xiao to cultivate. When the time comes, Ben Xiao will order the Immortal Emperor to be her protector. Don't boast in the future, especially that piece of trash who only reached the Mahayana realm after cultivating for more than 300 years. Ben Xiao may have let you go this time, but the next time you brag, the Demon Dominator will definitely come for you. Wang Kai shrugged and said disdainfully. Chapter 1171. Whoosh! As soon as he finished speaking, the entire place was so quiet that one could hear a pin drop. Everyone's eyes were fixed on Mu Qingyun. Mu Qingyun was the one who couldn't bear it the most. Her face was flushed red, and she wanted nothing more than to find a hole to crawl into. She had never thought that the demon ruler would return. When she'd seen the demon ruler and Azura leave, she'd taken the opportunity to claim that she'd killed the demon ruler and banished Azura. She'd used this opportunity to make a name for herself in the cultivation world, but now, cultivators of the Buzhou Immortal Court, from now on, you're in charge of the Eastern Deity Land. No matter what the Immortal Court is, or what other powerful forces, they'll all have to listen to you. My disciple's grandfather is the boss. Do you all understand? Wang Kai furrowed his brows and said with an indifferent expression, Yes, yes. Thank you, Master Fairy. Many immortal cultivators knelt on the ground, their bodies trembling as they acknowledged the order. The Buzhou Immortal Court was overjoyed and hurriedly bowed in thanks. When a man achieves the Tao, even his chickens and dogs rise to the heavens. Fairy Zhou was still in a daze. She'd never thought that she'd encounter such a great opportunity. At first, she thought that she'd be killed or eaten by Wang Kai, but she hadn't died in the end. Then she'd thought that Wang Kai would be taken care of by the Immortal Court. In the end, the Immortal Court, as the pillars of the cultivation world, had all knelt on the ground. Even her idol had to look up to her. Fairy Zhou felt like she was dreaming. Demon Ruler, go assist the Buzhou Immortal Court, Wang Kai said with a wave of his hand. Focus on my disciple's grandfather. Kill anyone who refuses to obey him, pretends to be pretentious, or disobeys him. Don't be shy. Yes, master. The demon ruler was excited. He couldn't wait for someone to rebel. Then he could take the opportunity to kill and recover his strength. As for the Middle Deity Land, it didn't matter whether he went or not. With Wang Kai's ability, it would be too easy for him to destroy the immortal realm. Granddaughter, have you made up your mind? Are you really going? Following the sound of an aged voice, a white-haired old man slowly walked out from the crowd with vigorous steps. He raised his head to look at Fairy Zhou, his old eyes filled with reluctance. "Grandpa, I'll go." Fairy Zhou clenched her teeth. She was also unwilling to leave, but in order to become stronger, she could only leave with Wang Kai. "I hope Great Immortal can teach old man's granddaughter well." The old man nodded and didn't say anything else. He turned around and kowtowed to Wang Kai. "There's no need for that." Wang Kai waved his hand and helped the old man up. He looked indifferently at Mu Qingyun and said with a smile, "Boy, do you want to be my disciple?" Whoosh. As soon as he said this, Mu Qingyun, who was extremely embarrassed, was stunned. She suddenly raised her head and looked at Wang Kai in shock. She had never thought that he would accept her as his disciple. "Since you're good at bragging, I'm going to accept you and give you some good luck. If you don't want to, then you'll be eaten by the demon sovereign." Wang Kai shrugged and pretended to leave. "No, I'm willing. I'm willing to be your disciple. Master, please accept my kowtow." Mu Qingyun came back to her senses and shouted without any hesitation. She knelt down on the ground and kowtowed with a bang. "Well, do you have a family?" Wang Kai squinted his eyes and asked. He glanced at a tall and beautiful girl in a blue dress. "Master, I've been an orphan since I was young. I was lucky enough to win the love of my beloved wife, Lana. We've been cultivation partners for 3 years. If Master agrees, I hope I can take." Wang Kai waved his hand and said, "No need. You'll soon have the ability to take your wife to the central continent, Celestial Land. It won't take more than a month." He wanted to take these 2 disciples because he wanted to find companions. He didn't need to do everything himself. Even if they weren't strong enough, with him there, who could do anything to them? "Thank you, Master." Mu Qingyun's eyes lit up, and she quickly thanked him. "I will give you half an hour. Once you've taken care of your wife, come find me at the foot of the mountain." Wang Kai gently nodded his head. Then he stirred up the wind and clouds and disappeared with Fairy Zhou. "I also want to go. Try to be quick." Wang Kai frowned and was speechless. He waved his hand and sent Fairy Zhou back to the immortal Dao 6 court. At the foot of the celestial mountain, Wang Kai floated down and sat on a large rock in front of the waterfall. He secretly communicated with the system and asked the Celestial Emperor realm should be the heaven opening realm. Then what cultivation level are the current Celestial Emperors at? Host, 3 cultivation levels. 3 cultivation levels. No wonder the system gave him a reward before. His cultivation level was higher than his. Didn't this mean that when Azura came to the immortal cultivation world, he already had the ability to defeat 3 cultivation levels? Azura was originally from the magic world and then came to the immortal cultivation world. This meant that his strongest cultivation level was only 2 cultivation levels. Moreover, since Azura and the demon sovereign had appeared in the eastern continent Immortal Land, it meant that they were here to increase their strength, increase their cultivation level to 2 cultivation levels. Then, with the battle prowess of 2 cultivation levels, they defeated the immortal emperor who was 3 cultivation levels. Thinking of this, Wang Kai frowned. "I relied on the divine blessing of the all-god level to raise my realm from god of double cultivation to god of triple cultivation. However, Azura has the ability to defeat god of triple cultivation as a god of double cultivation." Wang Kai was speechless. Luckily, he didn't fight Azura too early. Otherwise, he would have been the one to lose. If he wanted to defeat Azura completely, he had to reach the same cultivation level as him. At that time, he could use the power of God to increase his cultivation level again. Only then would he be able to reach the same level as Azura. As for the final result, it was impossible to determine who would win and who would lose. When I reached the Mayana realm, I could break through to 3 cultivation levels. With the power of God, I could reach the battle prowess of 4 cultivation levels. However, Azura is already a 4th cultivation level cultivator. Moreover, he has the ability to surpass another cultivation level. After thinking of this, Wang Kai shook his head and sighed. It seemed that if he wanted to fight Azura, he had to reach the 4th cultivation level. After the immortal cultivation world ended, He had to go to Earth as soon as possible. Is there a way for my soul to be reborn in the third universe? Or in the second and first universes? Wang Kai asked with a frown. Azura had a physical body that could be reborn in the third universe. When he reached the third cultivation level, or even the fourth cultivation level, he might have already reached the fifth cultivation level. If he kept chasing after him, it would be very troublesome. Chapter 1172. Host, you can send your clone to the third universe. Although it will have the strength of your main body, its future cultivation will be determined by your personal talent and aptitude. There is no way to judge when you can reach the third universe. Upon hearing the prompt, Wang Kai narrowed his eyes slightly. If he sent his clone to the third universe, it would have the strength of his current self, which was the second cultivation deity realm. But in the end, it would only be the second cultivation deity realm. If he wanted to improve, he could only rely on the clone to cultivate by himself. Bragging or increasing the realm of his main body would no longer affect the clone. My talent and aptitude shouldn't be weak, right? In that case, my clone won't be weak either. Thinking of this, Wang Kai gently nodded. Having a way was always better than not having a way and bitterly chasing after Azura. Can I go to the second and first universes? Wang Kai asked with a frown. Host, the weakest powerhouses in the second universe are all in the deity realm of the fifth cultivator of true virtue, while the strongest powerhouses in the first universe are in the deity realm of the myriad cultivator of true virtue. Once your clone goes there, even the aftermath of the battle between the other powerhouses will be able to wipe it out. The weakest powerhouses in the second universe are all in the fifth cultivation deity realm. In the first universe, there is even a 10,000 cultivation deity realm. Upon hearing the prompt, Wang Kai was dumbfounded. 10,000 cultivation deity realm. What realm is that? What the hell? Don't tell me I have to break through 10,000 realms? Wang Kai's face darkened as he gritted his teeth. Host, the first cultivation deity to the ninth cultivation deity realm is the limit of the deity realm. After breaking the limit, you will reach the 10th cultivation deity realm, then the 100 cultivation deity realm, the 1,000 cultivation deity realm, and the 10,000 cultivation deity realm. Oh, upon hearing this, Wang Kai slightly raised his eyebrows. In that case, the so-called 10,000 cultivation deity realm only requires one to break through the 10, 100, and 1,000 cultivation deity realms. I am now in the second cultivation deity realm, 8 realms away from reaching the 10th cultivation deity realm. At that time, from the 10th cultivation deity realm to the 10,000 cultivation deity realm, there will be a gap of 3 realms, a gap of 11 realms. The corner of Wang Kai's mouth twitched fiercely. The amount of *T he needed to brag about was simply enormous. After all, Wang Kai simply didn't know whether or not the 10 cultivators of true virtue, 100 cultivators of true virtue, and myriad cultivators of true virtue needed to reach the deity level of each profession. If it was necessary, there would be at least 10 or 13 cultivators in each realm. That would be a total of 130 realms. Screw you. Black lines appeared on Wang Kai's forehead. He shook his head and simply stopped thinking about it. Send my doppelganger to Universe 3 first. Who knows? I might run into Azura's doppelganger. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and sneered. Congratulations to the host for successfully sending the clone into the third universe. This time, a total of 500 bragging points have been consumed. Only 500 bragging points? Hearing the prompt, Wang Kai was stunned. He touched his chin and said in surprise, So little? Since that's the case, why don't I send a few more clones in? Host, although your clone's strength is at the deity level of true virtue, in Universe 3, it's still the second to last existence. If you want your clone to be destroyed, the system can send you a few more, and there will be a discount. Discount? Wang Kai's face suddenly became as dark as ink. After all this time, the system was not optimistic about his clone. It believed that his clone would most likely be destroyed after going to Universe 3. Sent another one in. To be on the safe side, Wang Kai gritted his teeth. Congratulations to the host for successfully sending the second clone into Universe 3. This discount costs 400 bragging points. Host, Wang Kai profession, cultivator realm, complete in Nedia celestial technique, none celestial technique, none celestial equipment, none bragging points, 0 experience points, 01000. I only had 400 bragging points left. Okay? Discount. I obviously ate them all. Wang Kai curled his lips and said disdainfully. Once, my clone went from the immortal martial domain to the 8 desolations. Although he was chased to the point of being killed, he survived in the end. Cough, cough. I only hope that my clone won't randomly pick up girls over there, lest I get implicated again. Wang Kai touched his chin. He really didn't have much confidence. He knew what kind of person he was. If he saw a super beauty, he would definitely tease her. However, the current him had seen countless beauties, and his resistance to ordinary beauties was very strong. As long as they weren't super beauties, his clone shouldn't pursue them too much. Thinking of this, Wang Kai heaved a sigh of relief. Master, I'm back. Master, I'm back too. Mu Qingyun and Fairy Zhou rushed over from the mountain. Because Wang Kai intentionally released his aura, they quickly found him. Yes, this trip to the central continent Celestial Land will be very easy. You don't need to worry about the immortal emperors. All you need to do is mention my name, and the immortal emperors will bow their heads. Wang Kai shrugged and stood up with a proud smile. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the early Golden Core realm. Golden Core realm? Next was the nascent soul realm. After that was the astral body realm, spirit severing realm, fusion realm, and Mahayana realm. He wasn't far from reaching the divine realm. Master, didn't you say that you wanted to find the celestial emperor to be my assistant teacher? Fairy Zhou blinked her beautiful eyes and asked suspiciously. Why did it sound like Wang Kai wanted to find trouble with the celestial emperor? Mu Qingyun didn't care about this. His heart was already boiling. He quickly said seriously, Master, don't worry. From now on, I will not put the celestial emperor in my eyes. In my eyes are just baskets. Baskets? Heavens! Senior Brother Mu, how can you be like this? Fairy Zhou's face turned red, and she looked at him in disbelief. In the past, Mu Qingyun, the #1 genius of the cultivation world, could be described as polite and gentlemanly. But now, he was like a different person. Yes, Qingyun is right. As my disciple, you should have such an arrogant personality. Fairy Zhou, you still have room to improve. Wang Kai said lightly. Fairy Zhou pursed her red lips, and her face turned red. She secretly shook her head and thought, I don't want to improve. Give me an awesome ride. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and secretly communicated with the system. Host, with your current level of cultivation and 100 bragging points, you can only exchange for a single godly flying mount. Let's exchange. Congratulations to the host for successfully obtaining a divine realm ride, Coiling Dragon Phoenix Palace. A total of 100 bragging points have been used. Buzz. As the system disappeared, a palace made of a silver dragon appeared in the sky. Around the palace, there were 2 phoenixes flying back and forth. Chapter 1173. Central Continent, Celestial Land, Land of Immortals. There were scattered immortals, genuine immortals, golden immortals, Daluo golden immortals, and more than a dozen celestial emperors. Of course, Wang Kai found out that there was only one celestial emperor who was a triple cultivation god. The rest of the celestial emperors were all single cultivation gods. The coiling dragon and phoenix palace moved slowly across the central continent, Celestial Land, and went straight to the celestial court. This attracted the attention of many immortals who were flying in the air. Their shock was evident on their faces. There were countless magic treasures that could fly, and there were also many magic treasures that could fly with a palace. However, it was rare to see a dragon and a phoenix accompanying it. Only celestial emperors and celestial emperors were qualified to show up. If it were other immortals, they would have been killed by the celestial emperors and celestial emperors. How could they allow the dragon race to be treated like this by humans? Master, the celestial chi here is very strong. I may enter the celestial realm soon. Mu Qingyan took a deep breath and said. Her eyes were full of joy and shock. If she hadn't followed Wang Kai to the central continent celestial land, she wouldn't have known that the so-called world of immortals was just a corner of the celestial realm. Go ahead and break through. With your master as your Tao protector, you will definitely be able to step into the ranks of true immortals. Who knows, you might even be able to break through to the immortal emperor realm. Wang Kai shrugged and said indifferently, Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and reaching the middle stage of the Golden Core realm. Well, hearing this, Mu Qingyun was very embarrassed. She wanted to correct Wang Kai, but she didn't dare to. It was very uncomfortable. Fairy Zhou, who was on the side, was very open-minded. She directly said, Master, when a Mahayana cultivator breaks through, it means ascending to become an immortal. If they fail the immortal tribulation, they will become a rogue immortal, which is a fake true immortal. This is not something that can be decided by humans. Also, legendary existences like the Celestial Emperor have cultivated for no less than 10,000 years. Yes, Sister Zhou is right. Mu Qingyan nodded. She suddenly felt a lot better. Otherwise, it would be very uncomfortable to keep the words bottled up in her heart. F***CK, genuine immortals, loose immortals, and immortal emperors are nothing to me. You need to know that I am an invincible being. The 7 universes are filled with endless mysteries, and the rulers of the 7 universes are all in my hands. Wang Kai shrugged and said with a rather proud expression, Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have gained 1,000 experience and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and reaching the late stage of the Golden Core realm. Mu Qingyun and Fairy Zhou were full of admiration. Mu Qingyun and Fairy was Zhou, of Celestial Emperor realm, and was from another world. From another world, celestial world. World. Mu and emperors of were Mu and was origin was celestial being. Wang Kai shrugged and said, You can't break through. You haven't reached the foundation building realm, so your foundation is not stable. Wait until I find the Celestial Emperor. I will ask him to help you reach the foundation building realm. Hearing this, Fairy Zhou was moved to the extreme. She suddenly felt that this cheap master of hers was not so unreliable. On the contrary, she was very considerate of her. Master, what are you cultivating? Aren't you an immortal? I can feel that your power is different from ours. Moreover, the devil ruler and Azura both came from other worlds. Master, where did you come from? Fairy Zhou opened her chatterbox and kept asking. This question caused Wang Kai's lips to curl up. He thought to himself, the opportunity to brag is here again. Yes, you guessed right. I did come from another universe. Moreover, that universe is the first of the 7. I'm a sovereign king there. Wang Kai said indifferently. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and reaching the Golden Core realm. Oh, right, Wang Kai said, narrowing his eyes. Azuras and Fiend Devil Sovereigns are like little brothers to me. There's no need to worry about them. Master can crush millions of them with a wave of his hand. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and reaching the early nascent soul realm. Host, Wang Kai occupation, cultivator realm, early nascent soul realm celestial magic, none celestial skill, none celestial weapon, none bragging points, 400 experience points, 0.02000, his experience points had increased to 2,000. He had gone from bragging about one breakthrough to bragging about 2 breakthroughs. Wang Kai casually glanced at it. Then he activated his mind and closed it. He didn't care about this little experience. I still need to reach the out-of-body realm, the spirit-severing realm, the body integration realm, and the Mahayana realm. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and thought for a while. I wonder which celestial sovereign or celestial emperor has come. Can I have a look at them? Buzz! Suddenly an old voice sounded. Tens of thousands of cultivators stepped into the air and stopped in front of the palace. They all knelt down in the air and bowed respectfully. Master, these are the weakest of them true immortals? Mu Qingyun asked in shock and trembled all over. Suddenly, a sense of honor rushed into her heart. She thought to herself that she could be treated like this by the Celestials because she had followed the right master. Even Fairy Zhou was extremely proud of herself. The weakest should be Golden Immortal. The strongest, 9 Heaven Xian Immortal, is only 2 realms away from the Celestial Sovereign Realm. It should be. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and made a guess. Golden Immortal, 9 Heaven Xian Immortal, only 2 realms away from the Celestial Sovereign Realm. Host, the realms of the Celestial Realm are Itinerant Immortal, True Immortal, Golden Immortal, Great All-Embracing Golden Immortal, Xian Immortal, 9 Heaven Xian Immortal, Origin 9 Heaven Xian Immortal, Celestial Sovereign, Origin Celestial Sovereign, and Celestial Emperor. As the system notification rang out, Wang Kai raised his eyebrows slightly, thinking to himself that his prediction was not far off. Itinerant Immortal, True Immortal, Golden Immortal, Great All-Embracing Golden Immortal, Xian Immortal, 9 Heaven Xian Immortal, Origin 9 Heaven Xian Immortal, Celestial Sovereign, Origin Celestial Sovereign, Origin Celestial Sovereign, and Celestial Emperor. These are the 10 realms of the Celestial Realm. You too must remember them well. However, I want you to remember them because I want you to know how far away you are. I don't want you to bow down to those with higher realms. You need to know that the Celestial Emperor is weak. Do you understand? Wang Kai frowned and smiled faintly. Congratulations to the host for bragging successfully. You have received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. What should they do? 9 Heaven Xian Immortal should be very strong in the middle state celestial land, right? Mu Qingyun asked excitedly. Chapter 1174. Them. Wang Kai curled his lips and said disdainfully, Celestial Emperors are nothing. When they see me, they will kneel down and greet me. As for a mere Xian Immortal of the 9 Heavens, they are nothing. Don't worry about them. Just send them flying. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the intermediate nascent soul stage. Send them flying. Hearing this, Mu Qingyun and Fairy Zhou's faces froze. They swallowed dryly. They finally realized the extent of their master's arrogance. Senior, please, get out of my way. My master has no time to deal with you. Stand there obediently. My master said that he will send you flying. Then, under Wang Kai's signal, Mu Qingyun gathered her courage and walked quickly to the front of the palace. She clasped her hands behind her back and looked like a ruler. The Mahayana stage? Whoosh! However, when the immortals discovered Mu Qingyun's cultivation level, their faces changed and their eyes darkened. She really is a useless immortal who doesn't know the difference between life and death. I already told you. Now, why do you believe me? How can a dignified Celestial Emperor and Celestial Emperor show off like this? Master, what should we do? Let's take their palace treasures. Attack. Buzz. Suddenly, tens of thousands of immortals summoned all kinds of treasures, such as banners, umbrellas, blades, sticks, alms bowls, flags, and so on. They all attacked with their immortal chi. Seeing this, Mu Qingyun's face turned pale. She screamed and ran back into the palace to hide. Even though she was the #1 genius in the immortal realm and the strongest in the Mahayana stage, she was nothing in front of a real immortal. Even the trashiest golden immortal could easily kill her, let alone the strongest Xian immortal of the 9 heavens. With such strength, how could she dare to stay here? Stand there and don't move. No one can hurt you. Wang Kai frowned and said faintly. Hearing this, Mu Qingyun gulped and couldn't stop trembling. She watched the tens of thousands of celestials charge at her with a complicated expression. He wanted to run, but he didn't dare to. He thought that he was fine, but danger was right in front of him. The feeling of being in such a situation could be said to be unbearable. Come out. Waste. Wong. Rumble. Rumble. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of experts were sent flying thousands of kilometers away by the palace. They turned into streaks of light and disappeared in the blink of an eye like shooting stars. As for the attacks that they launched, as well as their magical treasures, they were all shattered by the palace's defensive barrier and disappeared without a trace. The deafening buzzing sound caused Mu Qingyun's eyes to roll back, and she fainted on the ground. The attack was just too close. No matter how strong her mental endurance was, she couldn't bear such torture. This feeling was like a knife hanging over your neck and cutting down your throat. Others said that it was fine, but you couldn't be sure whether it was fine or not. Wow, so strong. Fairy Zhou was very bold. Her beautiful eyes flashed with golden light, and her face was red with excitement. Strong, right? While Qingyun is unconscious, come over and let Master take a look at you. Wang Kai squinted and smiled. What? Fairy Zhou was stunned. She turned around and looked at Wang Kai in a daze. She pouted and said, Master, I am your disciple. How can there be such a strange relationship between master and disciple? Strange relationship, my ass. Come over quickly and let Master touch you. Wang Kai frowned and waved his hand. Let Master touch you. Touch where? Fairy Zhou's pretty face immediately flushed red. Her beautiful eyes looked around in a disorderly manner, flickering nonstop. Her heart was thumping even harder. She never thought that Wang Kai would make such a request. While she was angry, she was also pleasantly surprised. If she worshipped Mu Qingyun before, then now she worshipped Wang Kai. Whether it was his methods or strength, he was ridiculously strong. Facing the 9 heaven Xian immortals, he didn't even need to do anything. Just a flying magical treasure was enough to send tens of thousands of immortal Dao experts flying. The most important thing was Wang Kai's age. He was only 17 or 18 years old. His appearance was also very handsome and delicate. It had to be said that such a proud son of heaven was the most desirable. Master, what just happened? Sleep a little longer. Wang Kai's face darkened. He slapped Mu Qingyun, who had just woken up. Mu Qingyun screamed and fell to the ground, unconscious again. She woke up at this time. If she wasn't looking for a beating, then what was? Master, where do you want to touch? Fairy Zhou covered her chest with her hands, gritted her teeth, and whispered shyly. It had to be said that this kind of master and disciple relationship was very exciting, even for Fairy Zhou. Although she wasn't old, she had an inexplicable feeling. Seeing this, Wang Kai's mouth twitched. He had never touched a cultivator beauty before. A magician from the magical world. After tasting her, he felt very comfortable. Naturally, he couldn't let go of a cultivator fairy. If the immortal emperor was a woman, then she would definitely be finished. Come into Master's arms. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled. But the relationship between you and me. Although Fairy Zhou's heart was inexplicable, she still couldn't let go. After all, if a master and disciple relationship was discovered, they would definitely be blamed and scolded by everyone. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Come here. Buzz. Wang Kai frowned. With a flip of his hand, he directly took her into his arms and placed his hands on her chest. Master, you can't be so direct. Fairy Zhou's pretty face was as red as blood. Her mind was in a mess, as if she would faint at any time. A Xian immortal of the 9th heaven has appeared here. In this case, We should have entered the center of the central continent deity land. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes. While his hands kept moving, his soul flew out of the palace and spied on the ground below. When an immortal palace entered his eyes, the aura that existed within it immediately caused Wang Kai's eyes to light up. The immortal emperor realm. Moreover, it was a triple cultivation deity. It was stronger than him. Most importantly, the immortal emperor had also discovered his spying. He raised his head and looked over with an inexplicable gaze. That gaze seemed to penetrate the clouds and rush into the ninth heaven. It was extremely powerful. It's a pity that it's a man. The other immortal emperors. Wang Kai furrowed his brow and withdrew his gaze with some regret, turning to look elsewhere and probing with his divine sense. There are 2 female immortal emperors. They are not bad. Wang Kai smiled slightly and couldn't help but clench his fist. Ah, master, you're hurting me, Fairy Zhou exclaimed and was directly awakened by his grasp. Chapter 1175. Does it hurt? Wang Kai furrowed his brows and asked playfully. It hurts. Fairy Zhou lowered her head shyly. She did not expect to have such a relationship with Wang Kai. Does it feel good? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and continued to ask. This, Fairy Zhou was left speechless by the question. Her pretty face flushed red. Her eyes were unfocused. She pursed her red lips and nodded slightly. She had never experienced such a feeling before. In addition, Wang Kai was a veteran in the field of flowers. How could a little girl who had never experienced the ways of the world be able to resist him? Who's spying on me? Suddenly, a cold voice sounded. The palace was suppressed by a force. It was suspended in the air and could not move at all. Seeing this, Wang Kai frowned. He touched his chin and said with a playful smile, "This immortal emperor of the immortal realm is quite strong. She can easily suppress the coiling dragon and phoenix palace of a divine cultivator." Although the palace was only a divine cultivator's dharma treasure, which was equivalent to a divine cultivator's celestial emperor, it was difficult for an ordinary person to suppress it. However, this female immortal emperor managed to suppress the palace with her strength. His combat prowess was unimaginably strong. Bin Xiao only glanced at you. Why are you so angry? Are you still a virgin? Are you afraid of being stared at? Moreover, I didn't take off your clothes to look at your lecture. Get down here. Buzz. Rumble. Bang. 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 In an instant, before Wang Kai could finish his words, the female immortal emperor angrily rebuked. She flipped her slender, jade-like hand and directly pulled the palace down from the sky, ruthlessly smashing it to the ground. In an instant, a cloud of dust rose from the ground. At the same time, a beautiful woman in a white dress with long silver hair slowly walked out of the cave with a cold demeanor. She stared coldly at the palace. "Come out. I'd like to see what kind of monster you are." Su Zian, the Hunyuan celestial emperor, shouted coldly. At the same time, she was on her guard. Just now, when he tried to counter-spy, he found that he couldn't see Wang Kai's face at all. He couldn't even break through the door of the temporary residence. Even when suppressing the palace, he had used all of his immortal energy. If it was in the past, Su Zian would definitely not offend such a mysterious and unfathomable expert. But now she'd been spied on, so how could she sit idly by? As an immortal emperor, how could he allow others to spy on him? "Master, what happened? What has happened?" Mu Qingyan screamed and woke up. She looked around at the smoke and dust. She was so scared that her face turned pale and she screamed. He no longer had the attitude of being the number one genius of the immortal cultivation world. There were simply too many immortals in the immortal realm. Any one of them could easily crush him. This made him very afraid and uncomfortable. Master, where did you poke my mouth?" At the same time, inside the temporary residence, Fairy Zhou blushed and whispered to her master. She raised her hands to push Wang Kai, but found that she couldn't move him. Seeing this, how could she not know that Wang Kai did this deliberately? Wang Kai squinted his eyes and laughed. He took the opportunity to throw himself on Fairy Zhou's body. Little Kai just happened to press down on her mouth. Cough, cough, I was rude. It's all that hateful female immortal emperor's fault. She's simply too perverted. She used a secret trick to trick me and let me ride on my disciple's body. This is really unethical. My life of clarity is gone, just like that. Wang Kai shook his head and sighed again and again. His expression could be said to be very sad. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Master, you must have done it on purpose. Fairy Zhou blushed and spat a few times. With her master's ability, it was absolutely enough to suppress the immortal emperor. However, he said that he had been tricked by the immortal emperor. How could a dignified immortal emperor plot against others like this? It was completely impossible. How could it be on purpose? I've always respected myself and have never had a bad relationship with any woman. I've always regarded women as the favored children of heaven and earth. Can you find another master who is as virtuous as me? Wang Kai frowned and said with displeasure, Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the late stage of the nascent soul realm. Master, help me. Suddenly, Mu Qingyun screamed and screamed for help. Mu Qingyun, who had fainted at the entrance of the palace, naturally could not escape the control of the Hunyuan immortal Emperor Su Zian. With a wave of her hand, she was suspended in the air. Her body was suppressed and deformed. Mu Qingyun believed that as long as this beautiful woman willed it, she would definitely be suppressed to death. Put down Ben Xiao's disciple, and I'll spare your life. Wang Kai, with his hands behind his back and Fairy Zhou behind him, slowly walked forward. Looking at the beautiful woman in front of him, Wang Kai's eyes lit up slightly. Seeing the real person, he could see more clearly than when he used his divine sense to spy. He had to admit that the female immortal emperor of the immortal realm had a strong immortal qi. Spare my life? You think you can? The Hunyuan immortal emperor Su Zian smiled indifferently. Her disciple was just an ordinary person in the Mahayana realm. How strong could the master be? Moreover, she could clearly see that Fairy Zhou, who was following behind Wang Kai, was even weaker than Mu Qingyun, who was in the Mahayana realm. She was just an ordinary person who had just started cultivating. If both of her disciples were so weak, how much stronger could the master be? Even this Dharma treasure was given to him by his elders to play with. I'm really powerful. Don't underestimate me, or you'll be at a disadvantage. You should know that this immortal realm was created by me. Aren't you afraid? Wang Kai frowned and tried to persuade her. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Presumptuous. The Hunyuan immortal emperor snorted and looked at Wang Kai indifferently. She asked coldly, Which immortal sovereign or immortal emperor's descendant are you? Quickly tell me your name. This emperor just needs a supreme treasure to break through. It's not bad to use you in exchange for the help of an immortal emperor. Break through? You're going to break through? Wang Kai was startled when he heard this. He touched his nose and looked at her with surprise. She was indeed at the peak of the first stage of immortal realm. If she broke through again, she would be at the second stage of immortal realm. If she didn't go to other worlds, could she also become a second stage immortal realm? That's impossible. If that's the case, why would Azura attack the other universes? If you don't say it, I'll kill them. Su Zian frowned and said in a deep voice, Master, save me. Mu Qingyun became more and more panicked. Even if she thought with her, but she knew that this woman was definitely not a simple person. In the immortal realm, who else could call themselves this emperor other than the immortal emperor? Chapter 1176. You really disappoint me. Fairy Zhou snorted disdainfully. She suddenly felt that her previous admiration for Mu Qingyun was all childish. Compared to Wang Kai, Mu Qingyun was simply too weak. The number one genius of the cultivation world was arrogant and courteous. Now, he was being chased by the evil demon sovereign and was crying for help. He had no manliness at all. It had to be said that after Fairy Zhou and Wang Kai had a little relationship, Fairy Zhou no longer put Mu Qingyun in her eyes. Let my disciple go. I'll say it one last time. Otherwise, you will regret it. Wang Kai frowned and said indifferently with his hands behind his back. Whoosh. Hearing this, Su Zian's eyes narrowed, and she stared coldly at Wang Kai. She had tried to pry into his cultivation level many times, but she could not find out his true cultivation level. It was as if he was a bottomless pit. She could not see the depth of his cultivation. This situation made Su Zian's heart sink. She said coldly, "It seems that you have some treasures on you that can prevent me from prying. The treasures must be of a high level. Take them out. You woman, stop wasting my time. I already said that Ben Xiao is very powerful." Wang Kai's face darkened. He waved his hand and interrupted her. Then, with a glance, he brought Mu Qingyun back safely. From the beginning to the end, Su Zian did not react. Even when Mu Qingyun was no longer under her control, she was still in a daze. Who would have thought that such a young man would actually possess such terrifying strength? Was his guess wrong? He was not the descendant of a celestial prime or a celestial emperor. He was very strong himself. She could not pry into his cultivation level because of the treasures. It was because she was not as strong as him. Is it the second cultivation level or the third cultivation level? Su Zian's heart trembled. Her expression changed slightly as she asked in surprise. Wang Kai squinted his eyes and rubbed his chin. He looked at her playfully and said with a smile, "It seems that you really do know about the second cultivation level and the third cultivation level. So, your so-called breakthrough is to break through to the second cultivation level? You. Not bad. Who are you?" Su Zian frowned, her face turning colder. He suddenly felt extremely regretful. He should not have blocked Wang Kai's temporary residence. If he had not done so, he would not have been entangled in such a troublesome matter. Furthermore, it was impossible to shirk off the responsibility now. As an immortal emperor, he didn't like being spied on by others. How could he, who was stronger than an immortal emperor, be suppressed by him and dragged down from the sky? This was a disrespectful action, especially when it came to experts. He would definitely end up in an embarrassing situation. Let's not talk about who Ben Xiao is for now. Let's talk about you. How are you going to break through to the divinity stage? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and asked in surprise. You can't break through this realm without going to other universes, right? If there was really a way to break through to the second, third, and fourth cultivators of true virtue in a single world, Wang Kai would definitely do the same. In that case, a lot of trouble and detours could be avoided. You really are from another universe. Su Zian's expression turned even uglier. From Wang Kai's words, she could tell that he was not from this world. I have a clone that went to the divine cultivation world and is about to reach the martial god realm. However, there are many martial gods in that world, so I need to find an immortal emperor to help me. I need to snatch the supreme treasure, the sun fruit. Su Zian said coldly. Sun fruit? Hearing this, Wang Kai was stunned. Suddenly, a familiar feeling surged in his heart. He asked in surprise, "Where in the divine cultivation world did you go? What's your name?" "You're from the divine cultivation world?" Su Zian frowned and asked. Wang Kai was speechless. He waved his hand and said, "Quickly answer my question. Otherwise, I'll kill you immediately." "You." Su Zian's face turned cold. She pursed her red lips and said in a low voice, "Immortal martial domain." Immortal martial domain. It was indeed the immortal martial domain. Wang Kai's eyes narrowed. If he remembered correctly, the sun fruit should be from the sun tree in the Lin clan's ruins. He vaguely remembered that when he helped the Lin clan's siblings destroy the Li clan's immortal emperor, he found the sun tree in the Lin clan's ruins and found an immortal emperor, old ancestor of the Lin clan, who was still alive. Who is the martial god you mentioned? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and asked. Lin Han Tian and his sister Lin Han Yue. Their old ancestor is even stronger. It's hard for me to fight against them with just my clone. I need to find other immortal emperors and send my clone to the divine cultivation world. Only then can I have a chance to negotiate with the Lin clan. Su Ziyin said in a low voice. Hearing this, Wang Kai's mouth twitched. He didn't expect the Lin clan's siblings to have reached the Six Gods realm. Is your doppelganger very weak? With your strength, it should be easy for you to deal with the immortal martial domains, right? Wang Kai rubbed his nose and asked, My original body can't go, and my clone cultivated from the beginning to the Six Gods realm. Therefore, I need to find an immortal emperor and tell him the way to go to the divine cultivation world. Let his clone cultivate there. With the potential and talent of an immortal emperor, he can reach the Six Gods realm in just a few years. At that time, the sun fruit will still be there. The Lin clan has always regarded the sun fruit as a treasure. It's as difficult as ascending to the heavens for their own clansmen to consume it. Su Ziyin said indifferently. So she found a way to go to the divine cultivation world. Moreover, she could only send her clone there and had to cultivate from the beginning. Wang Kai nodded and smiled. With his hands behind his back, he said, Since you're going to the immortal martial domain, have you heard of a person called Wang Kai? Wang Kai? Wang Kai, the god of flattery? Su Ziyin's eyes widened when she heard that. She furrowed her brows and nodded. Of course I've heard of him. Wang Kai, the god of flattery, is extremely famous in the immortal martial domain. Even the Lin clan's siblings have a statue of him. I heard that Lin Hanyue, in order to flatter Wang Kai, has never had any contact with other males. She has always turned a blind eye to her pursuers. What? Wang Kai's expression froze. He didn't expect that last Lin Hanyue would be so foolish. She actually refused to marry for the rest of her life. Because of him, if he knew this would happen, he would have eaten her and brought her out of the immortal martial domain. My master is Wang Kai, Fairy Zhou hurriedly said, her beautiful face filled with pride. What? Su Ziyin exclaimed in shock. Her countenance drastically changed as she hurriedly retreated. It was as though she had seen a ghost. What are you afraid of? Wang Kai furrowed his brows, his countenance turning somewhat black. Could it be that there were still some unfavorable rumors about him in the immortal martial domain? If not, why would Su Ziyin be in such a state? A dignified immortal emperor was actually so afraid. Chapter 1177. I have no enmity with you, so I hope you won't make things difficult for me. I have no interest in the matters between men and women. Su Ziyin's face was pale, so pale that it was devoid of blood. She was an immortal emperor, but at this moment, her beautiful eyes were filled with fear. Even her delicate body began to tremble. If others were to see her expression and attitude, they would definitely be so frightened that they would vomit blood and die on the spot. What was the reason that made an immortal emperor like this? Matters between men and women. Black lines appeared on Wang Kai's forehead as he stared at her with an unsightly expression. Gritting his teeth, he asked, What rumors have you heard in the immortal martial domain? Tell me now, or else you will definitely. I'll tell you. Su Ziyin hurriedly interrupted him, retreating as she said, In the immortal martial domain, you are a legend of the martial path, but your character is known by others as the crazy flirting demon. From 80 years old to 6-year-old children, as long as they are seen by you, they will definitely suffer. Regardless of the location, you will definitely forcefully occupy them and torture them until they die. Wang Kai. Oh no, Senior Wang, please spare me. From a mortal to an immortal emperor, I have experienced too many hardships. It was indeed not easy, so I hope you can find other girls. Oh, there is an immortal emperor who is as famous as me, called Immortal Emperor Qiushui. Her appearance is not inferior to mine. As the sound of Su Ziyin's voice faded, Wang Kai's body was already trembling, and he was grinding his teeth so hard that they made cracking sounds. Crazy flirt demon, from 80 years old to 6 years old. He won't let any of them off. Furthermore, regardless of the location, he would forcefully torture them to death. Who spread this rumor? Wang Kai's face was cold as he asked. Mas, master. At the side, Zhou Xianren was so scared that her face turned pale. Thinking of the intimate contact she had with Wang Kai, she suddenly felt goosebumps all over her body. Even the #1 genius of the cultivation world, Mu Qingyan, was deeply shocked by Wang Kai's feat. It was said that evildoers had to die, but how could an evildoer like Wang Kai reach such a high level of martial arts? Was there still justice in this world? Could it be that only by following the path of evil could one walk further and become stronger? Are all the good people dead? Mu Qingyun's eyes were inexplicable. It was as if she had figured out something. She secretly made up her mind that she must imitate her master, Wang Kai. I'm not sure. These are all rumors of the immortal martial realm. However, there's no need for you to be angry. There are still a few people who view you as a legend of the martial path, the #1 gentleman of the immortal martial realm. Su Zian's countenance paled as she spoke. Seeing Wang Kai so angry, he regretted telling him. If he was unhappy and wanted to find someone to vent his anger on, wouldn't he be thinking of this? Su Zian's intestines turned green with regret. One had to admit that even an immortal emperor's legs went soft and his mind became sluggish after facing mad Devil King Kai, who he couldn't defeat. Do you think I'm a gentleman with just a few people? Wang Kai's lips twitched violently as he silently mused that he should have learned from Dean back then. He should have completely established himself as a gentleman in the immortal martial domain, a person of the righteous path. But now, he was even given the title of flirting demon. However, Wang Kai could also think of the reason. Back then in the immortal martial realm, he had basically beaten up all the places he could find. Although there were some places he hadn't been to before, his reputation had definitely spread there. No, that's right. For example, Lin Han Yue and her elder brother Lin Han Tian. They lead the Lin clan and have always viewed you as a great benefactor. If anyone dares to say anything bad about you, they would teach them a lesson. Su Zian hurriedly nodded. Good. Wang Kai nodded, gritting his teeth as he coldly laughed. Your clone is currently in the immortal martial realm, right? Yes. Su Zian bit her lips as she hurriedly replied. From now on, you're my apprentice. Immediately go to the immortal martial domain and join forces with brother Lin Han Tian. Ruthlessly teach those who spoke ill of me a lesson, and at the same time, establish my reputation. As a price, the Lin siblings will give you a sun fruit. Wang Kai had his hands clasped behind his back as he spoke. If it wasn't for the fact that he had just broken through and defeating Azura was of utmost importance, Wang Kai would definitely have directly slaughtered his way back to the immortal martial realm. He wanted to see who was the one spreading rumors about him. But if that's the case, my reputation... Your reputation? What's your reputation? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes as he waved his hands, interrupting her. Su Zian's breathing stopped. She was very clear in her heart that she was definitely not a match for Wang Kai. In addition to his notoriety in the immortal martial realm, once she angered him, she would definitely not have a good ending. What? Could it be that you still want to find an immortal emperor to form an alliance and defeat the Lin clan, led by Lin Han Tian and his sister? Snatch their sun fruit? If anyone dares to do that, I will definitely kill all 9 generations of their family. The entire immortal world will be buried with them. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes as he spoke coldly. The immortal world had nothing to do with him. No matter how many people he killed, it wouldn't cause any waves. Just like Azura, he would do anything to achieve his goals. However, Wang Kai wouldn't be so heartless. As long as they didn't provoke him, no matter how evil they were, he wouldn't care about them. No matter how good they were, he wouldn't care about them. Fine, I promise you. I hope you can let me go. Su Zian bit her red lips as she spoke in a pleading tone. She originally thought that Wang Kai had already died somewhere. After all, for such a devil, the chances of him surviving were simply too low. But who would have thought that not only did Wang Kai not die, but he had also become so strong? What made Su Zian even angrier was that she had bumped into him. The reason they had bumped into each other was all because she had taken the initiative to stop him. If not for that, how could she be so unlucky? Thinking of this, Su Xian's intestines turned green with regret. Let you go? Hee. Do you think that's possible? Earlier you said that to me, and now you want me to let you go? Wang Kai's lips twitched as he coldly laughed with disdain. He then placed his hands behind his back and continued. Although the rumors in the immortal martial domain are wrong, one point is still correct. I'm indeed a crazy flirting demon. No matter how many girls are attacked by me, they wouldn't be able to escape from my palms. What is love in this world? The answer is the crystallization of both sexes. Congratulations to host for successfully bragging. The reward is 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to host for successfully breaking through to the peak of the nascent soul realm. As expected, he was a great devil. Su Xian's face turned even paler when she heard this. She pursed her red lips as she accepted her fate and said, "Then can you spare my life? I don't want to be tortured to death by you. I still have the immortal Tao to pursue. You can have me, but you can't take my life." Tortured to death. Black lines appeared on Wang Kai's forehead. In a mere immortal martial domain, there were already such rumors about him. He wondered what kind of rumors would there be in the 8 Desolations and Fan Prefecture. Chapter 1178. Master, I won't be tortured to death by you, right? I'm just a 16-year-old girl. At the end, Fairy Zhou was so scared that she began to sob. Wang Kai's reputation was too terrifying, although she didn't know the details. But to be able to scare an immortal emperor like this, how could he be weak? In the immortal world, the immortal emperor was the supreme. No one could beat him. But the immortal emperor was so scared by Wang Kai's notoriety that his legs went numb. Senior Zhou, how can you say that about Master? Master is an extremely famous peerless expert. It's a pity that I'm not a woman, otherwise I would definitely have some special relationship with Master. Mu Qingyun took the opportunity to flatter. However, this flattery made Wang Kai's face very ugly. In order to prove Ben Xiao's innocence, you have to do a demonstration. Let's see if Ben Xiao is good enough to torture you to death. Wang Kai frowned, stared at Su Xian, and said with a dark face, "Fortunately, it's not me." Fairy Zhou patted her small chest with lingering fear. "You also come. Ben Xiao wants 1 king and 2 concubines." Wang Kai stared at her and said fiercely, "Oh no." Fairy Zhou was so scared that her pretty face turned white and she fainted on the spot. I also fainted. Su Xian rolled her eyes and pretended to fall to the ground. Seeing this scene, Wang Kai's mouth twitched and black lines appeared on his forehead. He gritted his teeth and sneered. "You think Ben Xiao is joking with you? You actually have the mood to make fun of Ben Xiao?" Master, she really fainted from fright," Mu Qingyun said with a stiff face. Wang Kai frowned when he heard this. He walked over to Su Xian and placed his hand on her forehead. Using his divine sense, he discovered that she had indeed fainted. "Who is it that dares to tarnish my reputation like this?" Wang Kai's face darkened, his expression extremely ugly. He had never thought that he would leave behind such a bad reputation in the places he had walked. Even a dignified celestial emperor was frightened to such an extent. If it were anyone else, wouldn't they fall to the ground and suffocate to death upon seeing him? "Are you Azure's accomplice?" Wang. Suddenly, as a voice rang out, the void was torn apart, and 11 powerhouses with powerful auras walked out from within. Behind them, dozens of celestial venerables appeared one after another. 11 immortal emperors and dozens of immortal venerables. The one in the lead was the strongest immortal emperor who cultivated 3 gods. Su Xian actually fainted from fright. She just told him my name. She wants to use this opportunity to frame me. How hateful. Immortal Emperor Autumn Water sneered. Her figure was graceful and her temperament was enchanting. Although her beautiful face was filled with coldness, there was a strange kind of beauty to it. This woman was Immortal Emperor Autumn Water, one of the two female immortal emperors in the immortal realm. She was as famous as the Hunyuan Immortal Emperor Su Ziyan. Moreover, they had always been rivals. Wang Kai faintly glanced at her and gently nodded with a smile. Well, your beauty is indeed good. Stay and serve this young master. This is your honor. You should know that the number of women who can sleep with this young master is simply too few. You can't even ask for one. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. What? What did you say? Immortal Emperor Autumn Dew was stunned when she heard this. She had never imagined that this young man would actually have the courage to take advantage of her in such a situation. He even wanted her to serve him, and she should feel honored? I'm asking you a question. Are you in cahoots with Azura? The Supreme Immortal Emperor, who is the leader of the group, asked coldly. His eyes were full of cold hatred. Back then, Azura's arrival had caused him to lose all face. In the end, he could only kneel in front of the evil gods and beg them to save his life. If Wang Kai was really Azura's companion, he would not let him go. Azura is Ben Xiao's disciple. What do you want? Wang Kai frowned and said casually. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the early stage of the out-of-body realm. Host, Wang Kai profession, cultivator realm, early stage of the out-of-body realm celestial magic, none celestial skill, none celestial equipment, none bragging points, 200 experience points, 02000. Hearing the prompt, Wang Kai glanced at it casually. Seeing that the experience points had not changed, he activated his mind and closed it. You are Azura's master? The immortal emperors and celestial primes were shocked. Most of them even had the intention to retreat. Their faces were full of fear and despair. Azura alone was already invincible in the immortal world. Now that it was his master, wouldn't he be doomed to fall? The celestial realm was hopeless. Don't listen to his nonsense. Azura can't be his disciple. The Supreme Immortal Emperor scolded coldly. No, hearing that, everyone frowned and looked at each other. In the end, they chose to retreat dozens of steps. Only the Supreme Immortal Emperor and Immortal Emperor Autumn Water were left there. Regardless of whether Wang Kai was really Azura's master or not, this first round still had to be fought by the strongest. If they were evenly matched, they would naturally rush forward. If they were no match for him, they might as well cut ties with him. Seeing this, Wang Kai curled his lips and said with his hands behind his back, You have made a wise choice. Just watch from afar. When Ben Xiao beats up this bullish *T Immortal Emperor, the Celestial Realm will submit to Ben Xiao's subordinates. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have gained 1,000 experience points and 100 bragging points. Swoosh! Hearing that, everyone's faces changed again. At this stage, he still dared to say that he would beat up the Supreme Immortal Emperor. He still wanted to dominate the Celestial Realm and let his subordinates rule the world. The Supreme Immortal Emperor, you are stronger. You go first. Now, Immortal Emperor Autumn Water also wanted to retreat. She pursed her red lips and nodded at Wang Kai with a forced smile. Then, she quickly stepped back. Just like everyone else, he really didn't want to experience the nightmare of Azura again. Supreme Immortal Emperor? Mu Qingyun pursed her lips and took a step forward. She said disdainfully, Bullsh *T, Supreme Immortal Emperor? In front of my master, you are nothing. I advise you kneel down and kowtow to my master as soon as possible. Otherwise, you will definitely die an extremely miserable death. Bastard, where did this Mayana realm cultivator come from? Quan Shun, the power of God. Buzz. Rumble. In an instant, just as the Supreme Immortal Emperor was about to suppress Mu Qingyun, Wang Kai transformed into Azura. He flapped his wings and crushed the Supreme Immortal Emperor's suppression. Azura. Seeing this, everyone's faces turned pale. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.